Hey there. I know this always curses me. It always jinxes me. But there aren't many people here. We're sub 20 right now. So let's talk some mad shit before everybody gets here. Um, Dude, that was insane. That was okay. So I didn't watch most of it. Mad props to Sock. He fucking just had a good old time with it, admittedly so. But by the way, since I haven't heard back already, I'm just going to declare victory. I extended the invitation to Infrared via DMs. I have not heard back. Therefore, the only conclusion I can draw is not that he's busy, that he just doesn't want to respond, that he is, doing other things. The only logical conclusion that I can draw is that he is terrified to engage with me. That's again, I mean, I can't think of any other reason, quite frankly. So yeah, I have to say, unequivocally, as a fact, an objective fact, Infrared is afraid of talking to anarchists. It's the only logical conclusion. I'm sure you all can come to that it will come to that exact same conclusion as well. Kai abolished infrared in debate. Kai beat him 100%. Typing it like this makes it right. Dude's fucking batshit insane. He's batshit insane. He actually would concern me. If I knew that dude in real life, I would be concerned. He seems like he would be potentially violent. Yeah. He doesn't seem in control of himself. And that is mildly concerning. So yeah, let's just talk some shit before anybody gets here. It's a low viewer count. Dude, it's like 12 people right now. Who gives a shit? Let's talk some mad shit. I get the opposite, and he's probably super docile IRL. See, you have that, like, you got that fighter thing in you that you think, like, everybody who's loud. I got that, like, lifetime experience of being in a bar. Dude, like, shit, people who, yeah, he got crazy vibes. Like, that's the dude you do not want to get a couple of shots in. You don't want him to have a couple of shots of tequila. He's going to say some shit, you're going to say some shit, and the next thing you know, he's going to do some shit. I'm with Estrella. That dude has crazy vibes all over him. Yeah. Like, there was a few of us that were all in that sort of like, no, that dude, he's not in control of himself. He just isn't. I would not trust him to not just like start. I'm not saying he's a fighter. I'm just saying that he's the kind to just start wildly swinging or throw something. He would get violent. Did you see his definition of fascism on his subreddit? No, I'm not going to his subreddit. That's all right. I can pass easily on that. I can die perfectly content. I already have to know who this dumbass is. So just go with, no, I'm good. So yeah, Emrys, if you want to put the definition in chat, by all means, I'd love to see it, but yeah. Serious, if it were just a performance, he wouldn't blow his mic out as much, so much you can't hear him. Oh. Why is that? Oh, the app isn't open. That's weird. Hey, Sidewalk. Sorry about that. Hang on. Give me 1 second. Alex Jones is boycotting. I can manually trigger it. Give me 1 sec. Where is that fucking LAN board? Okay. So, C drive. I should have a receiver app. Yep, receiver. Oh, no, that's the receiver. I need the deck. It's the deck app I need. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here for Proudly Radical. since I owe Kai a few favors from back in the old days. Shit, I probably shouldn't talk about that. Wait, why are you still recording? Fine. Just be sure to edit it out. Anyways, as I was saying, this is Alex Jones, and I just wanted to teach the proletariat a few things about anarchism. Anarchism isn't about chaos. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Anarchism is about the people. It's about solidarity and mutual aid. It's about removing unjust authority and hierarchies. We should all be anarchists. The world would be a better place. Now, I'm going to apologize again to all those parents whose lives I ruined because I'm such a douchebag. Jones, out. All right, Kai, this has got to make us even for that incident you helped me out with.
Yeah, I do think I did find the right guy. Yeah. You can't talk about tankies apparently when I brought it up. When it brought up, let's see. Fair enough, Straya. Yeah, Sidewalk based Alex Jones. Do I have headcanon for what? Oh, and Karina, you're quite welcome. I have no idea how long it's going to take to get there. But it is firmly on its way. No, I don't have headcanon for what the incident is, actually. Yeah, I haven't put any mental cycles into it. I think it's funnier just leaving it into that sort of empty space, fill in your own blank. Like, what would be an incident? What would be a quote-unquote incident that Alex Jones could have had while in Las Vegas that Kai could have helped him clean up, right? Like, it's just funny just to leave it as the nebulous thing. It's like the monster in a horror movie. The instant you show it on screen, it's not scary anymore. For me, it's not funny if we give it words, if we give it form. I think just leaving it as some weird nebulous thing is the funniest thing it can be. But hey, that's just my take. But that leaves it open for you to have your own headcanon. And I think that's the funniest version of all. Oh no, I've been called to live. Whatever shall I do? We also now have a suggestion command. If you do exclamation suggestion space add space whatever your suggestion may be, it will put it on a list for me. And so I just have it in my control panel now. And so, you know, if there's something during the stream and I tell you, like, you know, add it to the suggestions, I'll cue the command for a while, so you guys know how to work it. But hey, Viva, mine's rather filthy. Alex Jones didn't know how to clean up after gangbang. But yeah, now we have a methodology for sort of in stream if there's stuff that needs added to Kai's to-do list, or, you know, we have ideas and that sort of thing. We can just add it to a list on my computer collectively. Let's see, what else? Let's see, I don't know whose idea that was, but I got that done as well. I didn't do the thing, but I added the legalizing sex work field to the cheat sheet. So I just need to fill it out further. I think I'm going to skip the order on my next essay. I like what I kind of, once I have an essay title, I kind of get focused on it. So yeah, Kat and I came up with an essay title last night for what was going to be the essay after next, but I've sort of stalled on the current one. So I think I'm just going to push ahead on the next one, move it up the priority list. So I'm going to do a post-left, post-anarchism, or you're not ready for this essay. So we'll go from there. That's sort of what's on my plate. Collected even more sources for kind of stuff that I want to compile and reword and tweak and add to the next essay. But yeah. So what did y'all get up to? Ooh, yeah, it really is. It's a low viewer count night. Fucking, I love it. I love it. We can actually have some, like, conversation, probably. How was y'all's Tuesday? Today was complicated. Complicated is never a good answer. Let's just put it that way. Oh, it's never indicative of a good thing. So it's a perfectly fine answer, but it's never indicative of a good thing. So, in keeping in neolib fashion, the Biden administration has already broken its pledge to halt the deportations and has issued guidance to ICE that essentially allows for ICE to deport a whole group of illegal immigrants. People aren't illegal. I'm sorry. It's bullshit. Refugees. Basically of their own volition. There's 3 qualifiers that they're using. But the fact of the matter is that any supervisor at ICE can sign a bypass, and it completely exempts the agent from the three qualifications. And it's 3 qualifications, but it's an or situation. It's meet any of them, and you can immediately deport. That sounds about right. Man dies after police kneel on his neck for nearly 5 minutes. Family says in wrongful death claim. 30-year-old Northern California man undergoing a mental health episode, as is tradition. Kneeled on the back of his neck for nearly 5 minutes to subdue him. Angelo Quinto had been suffering from anxiety, depression, and paranoia for the previous few months. So who's responsible for his death? His sister. His sister is the dumbass in this situation. There's always a dumbass in these situations. His sister called the police. Good. Folks, don't call the police. Don't call the cops. They're not going to help. Yeah. There's no situation that can't be made worse by the presence of police. It's just the truth. It's not good for the most part. At the same time, I finally finished my schoolwork, so some weight lifted off my fat shoulders. Fair enough, skeptic. Came across some other off-left stuff in another stream recently, combined with cancel culture and idpol, just because. Basically, I'm very excited about post-left anarchism readings now. I'm radicalizing so quickly to the left that I'm already ready for post-left. Fair enough, RV. I will... God, I hate deadlines, so I'm not going to promise you when that essay is going to be done, but I will work on that essay. Hey, ICE, could you maybe not do that in public? It's Biden admin now. Y'all got to hide it better. Biden to ICE, probably. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. Oh, there's the 3 Polish artists that are going to jail. If you want to know why they're going to jail, this will be fun. It's because they made this. This. Yeah. They made this, so they're going to jail. That's how it works. Yeah. Welcome to the religious right and the government, near theocracy that's running right now in Poland. Anti-LGBT groups fucking lost their minds over this. The government lost their minds over this. And of course, the church lost their minds over that. So, fun. It's something, Estrella. It's something, I suppose. Love RV. Racism. I am not aware of that, skeptic, but I've sort of spent the day reading, and the only time online I had was between the Discord server, which, I'm always near, little bit of Reddit browsing, but not much. And then I was watching, what was it? Screen Rant's, like, pitch meeting. I watched a few of those because they amused me. Very passive-aggressive, very satirical take on how movies get made. Always fun. But if you've got something more on that, Skeptic, I would happily see it. Yes, I did see that. That the Canadian government is going to recognize China's treatment of the Uyghurs. 12 Japanese firms are going to end business dealings because of it. I mean, not small ones either. Let's see. Like Toshiba, Hitachi, Sony, not small. So there's that. But hey, again, that's all CIA propaganda. None of it's actually happening. Never mind the fact that Japan is in on it. But, Japan is classically imperialist and has it out for China too. And so that's clearly something tanky take here. Japan is actually CIA based. I will raise you, Estrella. Japan is a CIA creation. Let's see. Also, the Canadian. Wait, Tankies has always been cringe there in the Twitter area. Canada. Oh, of course. Yeah, I'd imagine they lost their fucking minds collectively over that. Again, that just proves that there's a Western hegemony that has it out for the glorious socialist communist can't use that word. Glorious socialist communist proletarian driven land that is the utopia of China. I mean, something tanky take. It's just, they're fucking nuts. Washington Republicans were voting to censure the congresswoman who was in favor of impeaching Trump, but none of the members were asked for IDs, nor did they perform for certification. It's like those issues related to voter or integrity only matter in certain situations. Oh yeah, imagine that, Sidewalk. Hypocrisy? No. In this country? Amongst politicians? Are you sure you read the article correctly, Sidewalk? Because I'm pretty sure there isn't any hypocrisy amongst politicians in America. I mean, that's I'm pretty sure about that. If any good comes out of the infrared, I'm hoping to get the MLs out of the left, but it could. Oh no, but they belong on the left. That's the thing, Astray. You can't get them out. See, what you have to understand is there's just authoritarian and non-authoritarian left, and for a while, the non-authoritarians have been putting up with this bullshit. And I mean, for a while, dating back to like 1860, right? For a while. And the non-authoritarians always get put on the wall. We always get executed. There's always compromises made in the name of, making gains, undermining fascism, undermining capitalism, undermining the, aristocracy, or undermining the hegemony of blah, 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 blah. There's always these compromises made historically and contemporarily on the left by the non-authoritarians or anti-authoritarians, and to work with the authoritarians in the name of this sort of leftist unity. But the inevitability is that the anti-authoritarians get killed by the authoritarians. This is not hyperbole. This is not an overstatement. This is historical fact. This has happened not just once, not just twice, but like a couple of dozen times in probably 8 different places off the top of my head. it is a very real thing that is a phenomenon of the left, is that the authoritarians make use of the anti-authoritarians for the purposes of making political gains, of expanding the proletariat numbers and having a larger revolutionary force. And the instant they're in power, shit goes down. They can't be trusted. Hey, Sue. We're just talking shit about authoritarians. Talking shit about tankies. Because why not? Fuck them. Yeah. Yeah, that's just... Yeah, fuck both. Exactly. Serious Twitch. Jesus Christ. That's a thing. I mean, that's a thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Is we're not going to get MLs and MLMs. And by the way, some of these fuckers are way more Maoist than they are Marxist, right? Like, that's the thing. Honestly, I'm starting to notice that that tends to be a trend in these sort of online tanky arenas, right? Not necessarily let's see, in the streets. But yeah, the online circles, you got some, yeah, and where's Juchig at? Like, we got some unapologetic North Korea stands running around. What? I saw one today. One of the few places I was on Reddit today was one of the Anarchy subreddits. And there was a dude who was unironically on a fucking Anarchism subreddit who said, in my experience, the things said about North Korea are patently untrue. In your experience, you have much firsthand knowledge of North Korea, do you? You spent a lot of time under the regime, did you? You're one of the escapees, are you? Press X to dap. Yeah, TPRK is a democracy. Yeah. Viva, I would guarantee, I would take Vegas casino odds, all right? Like, guarantee. He hasn't met a single person. Or they haven't met a single person, but it's likely he, given, Anarchism subreddit on Reddit, it's male dominated. So, yeah. And welcome to Kamal. Yeah, we're just trashing tankies right now. That's what we're doing. I know most of my interactions with tankies are online. I have only a pool of one person. That person says it's the worst. Straight. I know most of my interactions with tankies are online, but it doesn't mean they don't exist in real life. These people actually believe what they're saying. I know, right? Is this here the Antifa? Depends. Do you disapprove of fascism? Congratulations, you're Antifa. We don't exactly have a sign-up sheet. Let's just put it that way. But cameraman friend, welcome. Depends who you speak to. There is, due to that Confucius Institute shit, Sue, there's a whole contingent of like state-influenced Chinese propagandists. And I know like Canada is one of the locations that has looked into the problems with the Confucius Institutes on university campuses and within communities teaching Chinese and telling people that sort of thing. So it just depends who you've spoken to. But yeah, there's, and then there's the ones that are like, yeah, they're fucking nuts. Guys isn't saying he's Antifa CTO. If anyone's never heard of the documentary about the U.S. soldier that defected to do PRK during the Korean War, highly recommend Crossing the Line from BBC. I think I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it, Sidewalk. Like, I remember the subject matter, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't watch it. Most I've talked to are in the food industry. Fair enough. I had a long convo with somebody I've never had problems with before about the Uyghurs, and it got awkward. She lived in China for several years, which shaped her opinions of it. We still get along, but I was pretty disappointed. Interesting. Okay. I don't have an opinion on that. Let's see. And hey, Fortus. Welcome. Oh, there goes the... Oh, well. C'est la vie. I'm moving to NYC and it's great. Never seen anything happen at the border. Same logic as people from China who deny it, in my opinion. Fair enough. Especially the DPRK stuff. I mean, that's fucking wacky as shit. It's a paradise. It's utopic. Have you ever been there? Nope. Oh, I don't even see that. My list of channels. My list of channels on my Discord server is so long. I don't even. I need a different monitor. I need a horizontal. I need more tech. Hey, J Miles.
You and me both.
Yeah, well, I need as soon as I get that fourth monitor. I need a fifth.
Yeah.
Except I'd need a second graphics card for that. What are your thoughts on Steven Crowder getting suspended? J Miles, I love your style, by the way. I can always count on your style. You don't change. This isn't criticism, Jay. You literally walk in the door and immediately put like 3 or 5 sentences into chat. Just one giant block of text as a question. And that's how I know you're here. Love it to death. Don't ever change. What are your thoughts on Steven Crowder getting suspended if you heard about it? I think it's only for like 1 day though. To be honest, I hate the dude. But I almost feel like a suspension only that short doesn't do much negative. It only gives him more publicity. I agree. And a reason for him to go apeshit on the next show. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It is toothless, and all it does is let him play like victim as a result of it. Yeah.
So how's your day been, Kai?
I mean, I'm physically miserable every day. You know how that is. My fucking hands and feet have been killing me. So, and fucking, I've been feeling a little angry. Because, well, I mean, I was basically abandoned by the medical industry and, well, we don't know and we're not going to look into it any further. So just get worse and worse and worse. And we're not going to do anything, even, go out on a limb and, maybe in fact, what you've been saying that it is autoimmune driven, despite the fact that we're not going to agree with you, that, we won't even do anything, that sort of thing. Like I'm getting worse by the day and nobody's willing to help me. There's a certain amount of resentment and bitterness that comes up from that.
That would mean that they may have to accept and state that you're disabled, but that you have a disability.
Thank you for the gift sub, Estrella, and congratulations, J Miles. I stick around.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's it's a whole fucking thing. They want it to be one thing, and it's likely not. It's, I don't get into certain details of my life on air, but they want it to be one specific thing, and I have doctors that say, well, it's not that. And so ultimately it's, one set of doctors saying, well, in our opinion, we can't rule that out. And then it's another set of doctors saying, well, we've ruled it out. And then I'm just left in the middle going, hey, how about we trust the patient's instincts on this one? But, and
Of
and
course not. Why would they do that, right?
right, and since it's nerve damage, it's mostly permanent, right? Like every bit of
Yeah.
damage that's being done is not going to get undone. So, yeah, there's a certain resentment and bitterness. Oh yeah, I've free Uyghurs. Yes, I've been checked head to toe. It's not MS. It's most assuredly not MS. I've had head to toe MRIs and scans, and I've been checked head to toe. I'm pretty sure what's left, and given a whole host of side effects or secondary effects and bizarre phenomena that go along with it, I'm convinced there's immune system interaction. But again, who's got time for listening to the patient, right? Hey,
Why
keyboard.
would they want to do that?
Let's
They're
see.
not paid to listen to you. They're just paid to give you whatever bullshit answer that they're paid to give you.
Let's see. Just because I'm against fascism, I wouldn't count myself as part of Antifa. Antifa, for me, are extremists like the right wing, the neo-Nazis, but that's just my opinion. Well, I hate to break it to you, but World War II soldiers fighting the Nazis were automatically Antifa. So, I mean, just saying, it is what it is.
I always thought that was hilarious because here you have Hitler who took all of his tactics from how North America dealt with, the Pilgrims dealt with indigenous people.
Well, give the man some
And-
credit. He put his own spin on it. Right, he brought something to the game. It's not, he didn't carbon
Not a
copy.
whole hell of a
He
lot, but
cheated.
yeah.
He cheated off their paper, admittedly so. But he brought his own handwriting to the game. Have you noticed any triggers for symptoms? Yeah, my body learns proteins. My body actually learns consumed proteins. If I consume, if I consume a large amount for an extended period of time, something like chicken. Let's just use chicken for an example, right? Let's say I eat chicken regularly for 3 weeks. Not every day, not every moment, but regularly. By the end of the month, chicken will be causing flares.
Yeah.
My body learns the proteins. And so, yeah, things that have a low protein content and non-animal proteins actually cause less of a reaction cycle. Yeah, no, that would kill me. And Jordan Peterson didn't fix shit. He ended up in a goddamn coma with his fucking benzo addiction. Either way, I won't be taking medical advice from Jordan Peterson anytime soon. Let's just put it that way.
Have you?
Good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I can actually clean my room as opposed to him. I always love that shit he used to throw. Fucking, if you can't even clean your room, like, motherfucker, have you seen that shot of him? Fucking clean your room. Have you tried a lobster diet?
I was just saying, if you looked into some of the indigenous medicines, you might find something that might help. Just saying.
So what happens when I'm vegan? It works for a while, but anything with high protein content, such as soy, will eventually start triggering it as well. Yeah, I have to keep on a constant rotational diet, or else it ends up being a trigger. And by the way, it is a slow encroachment. That will just cause flares. The progress, the degradation of my system is continual. Oh, by the way, anything that increases autoimmune reactions or increases immune reactions in the body, such as, or responses in the body, such as exercise, which, causes an immediate decrease, but then an increase in the immune cycle, in the immune response cycle, worsens it as well. I actually have, which is fairly common amongst autoimmune small fiber neuropathy or small fiber polyneuropathy in my case, sufferers, what's called an exercise intolerance. Yeah, it's fun. And despite all of these things, I can't get anybody on board. I have seen some, like, top flight fucking idiots. Oh, we're still doing the fascist thing? I just looked over at chat.
You know how it goes. Come on now.
Damn, that's quite the genetic condition. It's actually not genetic. I do believe it was actually triggered. Hey, there's Cappy. Do no harm, but take no cap. I do believe it was triggered by a viral incident in my early 20s. Yes, exercise intolerance is tough, especially given I used to be in epic shape. I know I don't look it now, but I do have two people in my community that have seen pictures of me from a decade ago. And you know, I was athletic. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, eugenics is a bad look, brother. Just a bad look. Doesn't really matter who's doing it. Eugenics is a bad look.
I'm almost starting to think that it's almost to the point where you almost have to look at, even though you put a cap ahead at the end of a sentence like that, it's almost like, do we really want to be saying that shit though? Do you know what I mean? It's like, do we really want that?
Hey, you know, yeah, Antifa's not an organization. It's just not. I mean, tell you what, point me to my regional Antifa director and then we'll go from there. How do you think the best way would be to teach kids and young teenagers about politics in a way that gives them a good point of view on political matters? Any thought on that? Yeah, you can't do it in our current educational system. There's my view. The things that I would tell you that need to be taught to young children and teenagers are going to undermine the Prussian hierarchical authoritarian nature of our so-called educational system. And your oppressors are never going to teach you and give you the tools to free yourself from their oppression. That's not how that relationship works. So anti-authoritarian schools of thought, metaphysical, epistemological schools of thought, direct action methodologies, these things are not going to be taught to children. It just isn't.
Same thing with basic, shit like critical thinking.
I always go with trivium. Logic, grammar, and rhetoric should be the basis for our education. Teach them how to think, teach them how to argue, and teach them how to speak correctly, and then we'll go from there. Right? Like these are the things. They need to be able to communicate. They need to be able to have an exchange of ideas, and they need to be able to do it in some sort of consistent manner. Internally and externally. After that, the rest is just a matter of what do you want to pursue.
I've often shaken my head because the main half the problem that we have in society is that we're not taught to communicate with each other. Our communication skills are been lacking and going downhill for a while.
I can't pin it on one thing other than education's working exactly as designed.
Yeah. Pump out robots for the big corporations.
Yeah. There's no, like, the systems function as it is, but it's very much multifaceted. There's no one thing that I can point to, because even without the educational system to bear the burden of responsibility, they're still being born into a neoliberal, hyper-capitalist, totalitarian state in which, capitalism is the modality of operation and permeates the essence and style of thought. it actually, the hierarchical ordering of our society influences on a subconscious level how people order and interact with one another even. So I can't put it on one thing. I just can't. Is there something to be done, Viva? I think I asked, was there anything a part of some trial stuff? It would be trial. It would be trial stuff that I'd have to be able to get into, and they are extraordinarily difficult to get into, and there really aren't any run in this part of the country. If I were in Boston or Minneapolis, there are two, or Cleveland. There are some major neuropathy facilities and universities and places that look into this sort of thing. But yeah, as it is, I just get to be one of the many victims of our broken system. One day I may have to resort to trying some of these god-awful medications, but, you know, yeah.
Hopefully we get this shit fixed before that comes in.
Yeah, right.
But if we can't fucking get it together, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Let's see, what do we got? Let me catch up to some of this. Straya. If Antifa isn't an organization, then who did I apply to join? I gave them my social security number. Dirtbag stole my identity. Yeah, we have a fascism command in the channel. Those that are learning. You know, I don't know, conservatives that have vested interest in breaking rational thought and discourse, such are in opposition of their interests. Hey, Fox. By the way, hello there. Not that kind of money, Viva. Not that kind of money. The treatment that I would want to seek out is not the sort of thing you do one time only. It would have to be done on a 3-week to 4-week basis for the foreseeable future. And it would cost something like $10,000 to $12,000 per treatment. Yeah.
Would that be like down in Cuba, maybe?
I mean, I can't travel to Cuba every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm fucked. Like, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. That's,
You know, it always makes me kind of shake my head because it's like, you know, I'm always listening to people fucking shit talking about Cuba, but yet all the fucking good shit is down there.
They pumped a lot of resources into creating their doctoral programs.
Yeah.
Move to Europe. We have healthcare. I could move there, but you wouldn't cover me. It's not that simple, Viva. Generally speaking, what European nations require for somebody who has pre-existing health conditions coming into the nation is that they purchase their own private health care. I've looked into it.
I think we've had this topic before, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not even marriage saves you.
No. I'm fucked. Yeah. Marry a Canadian. If I were going to do that, I would go Australia or Germany.
Yeah, don't come here to Canada. Canada is not that great either.
I mean,
yeah, we have some things that are free, but it's not perfect either.
Well, if I were going to do it, I wouldn't want to still have, the burning meth lab right underneath of me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I'm going to do it, if I'm making big moves like that and I found a way around something and I could, blah, 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 I would, I'd make moves. All right? Why Germany, land of fascism, just because of the social system? Because I have a longtime friend, community member, mod, trusted ally, and somebody who has actually extended that offer to me if I wanted to get married to him. So, that's why Germany. Right, Fox? And Australia, because Australia is Australia. Yeah, it's on fire constantly, but they have gorgeous beaches. And I'm a beach kind of guy. I love a good beach. So, you know, they're in the running. Why would that mod move to the US? Why?
They're not talking about moving to the US.
What? I think you're confused as to the order of operations.
Yeah.
Better a corrupt social democracy than no social democracy at all. Let's see. How's the healthcare system in the U.S.? Ah, yes.
What healthcare system in the U.S.?
You mean the hopefully you're a millionaire or billionaire, go fuck yourself and die system?
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing great. It's working great. It's working great. Write a letter to Jeff Bezos, right? That's what it's come to.
Yeah, write a letter to Jeff Bezos begging to help you to get medical treatment.
The get a sugar daddy healthcare system. Bingo.
Yeah.
Works as intended. I know, right? Yeah, generally Antifa doesn't book burn. Usually the left, well, the non-authoritarian left doesn't book burn. It's just, yeah, we don't burn books. Just have a GoFundMe.
Yeah, literally, that's how it's been, Whiskey Foxtrot. It's like the GoFundMe healthcare system.
Yep.
Like, seriously.
1/3 of they're providing healthcare at this point. It's fucking insane. I don't know how anyone can be Antifa. They're fucking against hey, cool boy. Cool boy. I don't know how anybody can be Antifa. They're fucking against a free America. Wake up, libs and other Bidenists here. You guys are getting lied to by the Clinton-controlled media news. Here's a guy who's a super smart journalist, a super smart patriot journalist by the name of Sean Hannity that all you DNC backers should look at. He wrote a novel called Live Free or Die, America and the World, on the brink that really opened my eyes on how things really are. AOC is the devil, and trust me on this one, Trump 2024. Hey there, cool boy.
Damn, cool boy.
You can actually, you literally were right there on the limit of it. Holy shit. I'm going to trim the Trump 2024. What can I trim out of this? Because I need to be able to add the quote thing. I think that'll trigger it. Cool. I added it as a quote to our quote system. Cool boy. Isn't the issue in America your number of sugar parents is dwindling? Yeah, exactly. Not dwindling fast enough, quite frankly. Yeah, genius. Just move him here. Yeah, right. Yeah, oh yeah, you were right up against it. I had to trim the Trump 2024, cool boy, just to get the quote ad command into the mix. But yeah, hang on, let me pull up the dashboard. Quotes. Yeah, it's in there. We have custom bots now on the channel for Twitch and for Discord.
Nice.
Yeah, fucking, I got tired of Streamlabs, and I got tired of fucking Stream Elements. Stream Elements still was handling the on-screen chat stuff, but yeah, I'm doing self-hosted Twitch bot now, and you'll see that response, like Proudly Radical bot. That's all like a scriptable, extensible system that I'm running on my computer, because fuck that shit. I need more features. Yep, there we go. Estrella saying hey to the bot, and did I hear my name? Why, hello there, Estrella. I sure am happy to see you. Yeah, the bot will reply to you. I saw a Chinese guy with a shirt that said vegetable in Mandarin. Yes, Estrella. It is not intelligent, but it knows when you say hello to it. Let's just put it that way. If I want to copy paste the entirety of Das Kapital in chat, it's my goddamn right, said Fortus. That's such a fucking giant ass book. Let's see. I have my rights.
Oh, have you seen Caesar lately?
No. Should I know who or what that is?
Do you remember that guy I think he came into this channel a few different times. He was quite pragmatic.
Hey, Deconcy. No, the name doesn't ring a bell.
The last part of his name is Caesar, but I think it was like something else.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't. What was his shtick?
Just normal fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
He thought they thought they were intelligent.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a maniac. That's not going to narrow it down any for these parts.
Yeah, right.
We still have, I've got reminders in for like in a week now. We've got fucking an event coming up, and we got some like queued bullshit that's supposed to happen, and a bunch of people who aren't going to show up because they're cowards and intellectually, shall we say, lacking. And that, you know, they're convinced that shit's going to happen. So we added it to the schedule for the show calendar. Like, okay, come on back by after that date passes, because shit ain't going to happen, you Q nut job. Have I reacted to Tom McDonald's People So Music studio video, stupid music video before? No. I tend not to watch music videos or listen to music on stream that isn't like straight out of like a safe service like Pretzel or something like that. Because
Straight out of motherfucking Compton.
Fuck yeah. Oh, I hear you, OG. Maniac. There's supposed to be like, according to Q, apparently there's some, like, the military is going to depose Biden and reinstall Trump into his rightful position because the original inauguration or swearing in date was March 4th. And Biden, because he doesn't have the Secret Service button, the Diet Coke button, the so-called Secret Service button on his desk, doesn't have the actual rights and powers and privileges of a president of the United States, and further craziness here. I honestly, but yeah, we have some usernames that are supposed to be coming back by. They won't. They never do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, we got a couple of them. Well, we have one who never showed his face after the January 6th stuff, because Kat had a $200 bet with him.
That sounds about normal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a QAnon guy that may or may not show up and nothing happens. Hey, Skeptic, welcome back. Yeah, it's March. Yeah, some copy pasta. Yeah, the storm is coming. Yeah, Maniac. Oh, I forgot about all that nonsense. Yeah, right. It's fucking. That doesn't sound very unstrategic. Biden is the one who refused to join the grid a long time ago. Oh, wait. No, that was Texan Corpo shitbags, right? Well, I got sworn in.
Have they come back yet at all?
Who?
The QAnon dude. Has he come back yet at all?
Which one? There's a bunch of them that I have collected.
The flood dude. The flood dude that's gonna like.
No. Oh, yeah, that's Joel Von PUBG. Yeah, no, we haven't seen him recently. He's been gone. He's been MIA for maybe 2-3 weeks. Yeah. Biden is. Oh no.
Trump's gonna get back in, and there's gonna be a flood, and
Yeah.
Trump's gonna get back in, and
Yep.
yeah, okay, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Maniac. It's always that way. Somebody posted one today on the shared content. Where was it? Oh, it was the fucking like Tiger Woods. I was gonna say Tiger Williams for some reason. Serena Williams and Tiger Woods mashed up in my head for a moment. Sports ball. There was like crazy shit that people were.
Tiger would get into an accident.
Yeah, well, fucking Ace posted some crazy ass shit that was going on Twitter. Like these fucking whack job conspiracy theorists just they reach so desperately. The car he was driving was a Genesis GV80. Also, something else I noticed, it happened at Black Horse Road, which made me think of the Black Horse of Revelation, which happened to be mentioned in chapter 6, verse 5-6, or 56, the horse of famine. Wonder if that's the next catastrophe they have in store for us. Then somebody responds to that. Black Horse Road equals 84, so if you do like the numerology bullshit, divided by 132, I don't know where we got that number, times Jesuit equals 132 times the Catholic Church equals 132. Like, this is the level of fucking shit that we're dealing with. These people get the same one vote as everybody else, folks. Like, holy shit.
Wow.
Hey, opioid. Yeah, oh yeah, like there was a whole fucking string of this shit happening today on Twitter. And yeah, Ace clued us in on it. Like, it was like, what the fuck?
Ace coming in with all the hot takes.
Have a hotkey to play the X-Files theme. You know what? Fucking Whiskey Tango, if you want the honor, what you do is you type exclamation suggestion space add ADD space your actual suggestion. So put a hotkey to play X-Files theme. If you put that command into chat, it will add it to a hard list on my computer so I can keep track of stuff like that. A little to do.
Do it.
You can be the very first one to utilize it.
Do it.
And
somebody do it, please.
Yep, there it is.
Yay!
Congratulations, Whiskey. You're the first one to use the channel suggestion feature. And let me just fucking triple check here. There it is. Dumps it into a file on my computer so I can keep track of that shit. Finally got off my lazy IT ass. We got custom bot shit working for me. Hunter Biden's stash was dumped on Texas. That's all that happened. Yeah, fake snow. You saw that, right? Did you see that? Sue.
What?
There's an entire contingent of conspiracy theorists online who are trying to convince people that the snow in Texas is fake.
What?
Oh yeah, it's a thing.
I swear the idiot that's saying it is probably receiving a check from the fucking power companies down there that are fucking milking people for a shit ton of fucking money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like weather manipulation technology or some sort of shit like that. It's. There's a couple of different versions of it. It's fake snow. Like somebody was trying to light the snow on fire, and because they were holding the lighter right up to the snow, and never mind, snow is insulative. You know, I don't know. Ask indigenous communities in the northern area of this continent as to the insulative properties of snow. But they were holding the lighter right up to it, and you know what happens when you put a lighter right up to something. You fail to burn all the fuel, so you end up with soot. But you see, the black stuff on the snow is actually the fake structure, like the plastic makeup of the snow burning.
Oh yeah.
Fucking these people are batshit insane. His suggestion: subtract Biden presidency.
Can we just round them all up and like put them on a boat and just put them out to sea?
No, authoritarianism bad. But I think vicious mockery is the way to go.
Okay, that works too.
Yeah, I think there's a defense. Look, if you're engaged in a good faith argument or a good faith debate, if you're engaged in a dialectical exercise with somebody, ad hominem is not the way to go. But if somebody is already arguing in bad faith or is coming from a place of complete ignorance and maliciousness, I think that there is for real defense. Like there's an argument to be made in the defense of ad hominem attacks. There is a time and a place to call somebody fucking stupid to their face and just laugh at them.
Oh, no, wait. We can't use that word because it offends some people.
Yeah, right. Like that's the thing. My next essay is on post-left, post-anarchism. And that's one of the critiques of post-left anarchism is that IDPOL is basically Maoist. And it's super authoritarian and it's super hierarchical. And so, yeah, that's going to be, I'm wondering how much fucking shit I'm going to catch for this essay, but yeah, that's my next essay.
Oh, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. There's plenty around.
Yeah, I sincerely think that, it's, whoa, that flew by. Ad hominem, no. Isn't ad hominem is if you make an argument for why you think they're stupid? No, it's just an attack on their character or person rather than an attack on their argument itself. It's generally considered a logical fallacy, but again, that's if you're engaging in a logical interaction to start with. If you're dealing with somebody who thinks that the CIA in cooperation with China and George Soros has dumped fake snow on Texas in order to, I don't know, cue up the Great Reset or something like that, have at it. Like, what are you going to do? Reason and logic that person? Come on.
Hey, wait, Ortiz, isn't France where it's like extremely unhealthy and unsafe for a man to get a spouse there?
I can't. Yeah, Fructose. What's the social culture for gay marriage for like in France? Can't speak to it. Let's see. Maniac said hi to you, by the way.
Hi, Maniac. How you doing?
Yeah, Astamite. All that proves is there's people in Texas that don't know anything about snow. Imagine that. Yeah, fucking. So wait, snow is made up of water, and water isn't flammable. So what are y'all doing that your water isn't flammable? Like, yeah. Ad hom occurs in 80% of the debates I had. It's been called I've been called mentally disabled after saying that Israel should. Oh, well, I mean, that's an interesting take. Thank you for the follow, Uriak. Let's see. So I checked, and you'd get access to French healthcare after 6 months of residency. Trouble is, of course, you can only reside in France for 6 months unless you get a job or a spouse. So, Fructose, what kind of praxis are you up for? Are y'all okay? What do you do for fun with no flammable water?
I thought Cuba was pro-LGBT.
No, very much. not. Like, opposite. That part of the world, not just Cuba, but that entire part of the world is a couple steps behind on that issue. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. A couple years ago, when I was down in Puerto Rico, they found the body of a gay dude in a trunk of a car with his head removed.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's a highly sort of, it's got that machismo. Like there's the Central, South America, Caribbean. It's got that machismo culture, which is usually really toxic to start with, and not good for LGBT rights. Let's just put it that way.
Well, give me a little bit. Someone help me out with a plane ticket straight to Cuba that does not stop in the United States, and
you can't.
And I'll fix that shit.
Oh yeah, you can fly there directly from Canada. Like, you're one of the countries that will just go there. George Soros funded the anarchist movement after the disillusioned Soviet Union collapsed in order to overthrow the world's billionaires. Wait, what? Soros is a billion. Oh, wait, never mind. It's not consistent to my logical thinking, so I'm just gonna throw it under a rug. Fair enough, skeptic.
Nice, skeptic. Good one, skeptic.
Yeah, Estrella, like putting LGBT people and activists in prison and anti-LGBT crimes. It's yeah.
So, okay, so we get that Cuba is lacking in some aspects and doing better in others. Okay, all right. Okay, like I said, someone sponsor me a direct plane flight to there, and I'll be more than happy to pick that shit up.
Hey, Nefarious, what part of this disagrees with what I said? Why are you still attempting to correct whatever? It's literally a rhetorical strategy where the character attacks the character motive or some other attribute of the person. Remember, I attacked the character of the person rather than making an argument, rather than attacking the substance of the argument itself, which, I can't verbatim what I said, but that's pretty much the gist of it. So why are we continuing that conversation? France reports 36% rise in victims of LGBT attacks and offenses. Oh no, says Fertus. Great. Let's see. Skeptic, gay marriage. Oh, okay. All right, Nefarious. I was like, wait, what are we doing here?
Well, is it France? Isn't it France where there's a strong feminist movement there that makes it even harder?
I couldn't tell you. Fertus, feel free. Let's see. Gay marriage isn't.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Produce.
Gay marriage isn't accepted in Cuba. Workplace discrimination of LGBTQ people is allowed, but it's better LGBTQ rights than most Latin American countries. It's true. Uruguay's okay. Uruguay is pretty progressive as far as certain things go, but again, the thing about climate change is that Bill Gates wants to control. Hello, Michael Colbert. I don't know you, but welcome. Do I know you?
Welcome to the party of three.
Thank you for the raid. Just checking your page. Just looking at your page, Michael. Either way, welcome. And yeah, show Colbert some love. And like that fucking bot automatically recognizes some shit goes down, fucking says to show him some solidarity, show him some love. Welcome. We are a little all over the place right now. But yeah, we're sort of talking healthcare, LGBTQ rights, vis-a-vis immigration. Fertus, I have no clue. Honestly, I've stopped getting into feminist discourse because I don't have to sort out left feminism and lib feminism. It's too much effort. That's fair. So yeah, we don't have an answer for you, so.
Okay.
How was your stream, Michael? Should I call you Michael Colbert? Is it like, a pimp named Slickback? Do I have to say the whole thing? Can I call you Michael? Can I call you Colbert? Or should I say Michael Colbert? Either way, I am sort of a weird stickler for that. Some people, people choose their names, and sometimes they want them said and pronounced in particular ways, and I'm okay with it. I can call you Michael. All right. How was it was good. Okay. Rock on. Would you, let's see. Let me check your. Okay. So GTA, Pokemon, and just chatting. Rock on. Hey, thank you to follow Raven Shimmers. And was there somebody before that? No.
Yeah, there was 2. But
It's okay. No worries. Always like to check. So why'd you rate in? Yeah, fucking. It's. What do we got? Yeah, it's a slow night. It's a slow fucking night. Never mind. Just insecure. No worries. No worries. We all start somewhere. But it actually, it fucking. Rather than. Yeah, how'd you end up here? Was the question. Before I got off on that tangent. Yeah, dude, last night chat was super busy. We had a couple of tankies and it just lit up. It was really active in chat last night. Yeah, it just fucking having it whiz by is always an interesting, experience. You're like, God damn it. Because, you know me, I like to run a fairly interactive show. At Maniac, that was fun. I was late to the show though. Yeah, there was a bunch of shit that went down like early as well. Dude, we had one dude who was fully unhinged, right? Like the tankies have been coming out of the woodwork recently, which by the way, I'm all for. Let's just start identifying these nut jobs. Yeah, we need to know who the fuck these people are. Yeah, tankies were everywhere the last week. Yeah, it's the week of the tankies. Yeah, they're good for views and memes, though. Dude, we had one dude who was fully unhinged. Like, properly unhinged. Every single comment he made was in all capitals. And he, like, when he finally got when he got timed out, I kept talking shit about him. Like, I just kept talking shit about him. And he took to the DMs. Not just mods, but literally everybody's name he could see in chat. He just started fucking sending death threats. He started fucking just lighting people up. Oh, yeah. No, he was properly unhinged. And to their credit, I mean, a bunch of people in chat were sending him mad love. They're like, love you too. Fucking. Oh, it was
so much for the tolerant left.
Yeah, it was funny. There was a few people who posted their interactions with him into shared content, screen grabs and shit like that. And dude, it was batshit insane. Fucking, I'm gonna spit at you before you centrist piece of shit. You centrist piece of shit are disappearing everywhere. And when Biden loses, you'll cry like a useless sack of piss. Dickhead, waste man, Americunts are the dumbest people on the planet. This is all just one giant run-on sentence, by the way. Dickhead, waste man, Americunts are the dumbest people on the planet. End yourself. Caleb annihilated you, and Luna should cut your small balls. Fuck you. Fuck off. Like, oh yeah. Cave handled his by saying, I voted for Biden because he's a cutie. And he said, fuck off to him. And the guy came back with, he said he came back with fuck off. So Cave came back with send dick pic. Let's see who else fucking, he sent RV got suck my dick useless cancer, and RV sent back, aw, love you too, buddy. Wither sent love as well. Fucking this dude said fuck off, and he said I wish you the best. Yeah, dude was unhinged as shit. It was interesting. He's like one of a couple of them that we had last night. Let's see. Let's see. I wanted to raid and looking for someone leftist since I like to consider myself one, but I'm also still learning. All right. Well, Michael, Anarchist, first and foremost. We do have some disagreements with the left, especially these days. And I'm going to start elucidating some of them in an essay, but we share a lot of common ground with the left, probably more than we share with the right. And we are sort of, considered a leftist ideology by most, but Anarchist first and foremost. But welcome. If you've got any questions, if you've got any, anything you want to prompt, by all means. And yeah, if you need any definitions or anything like that, we have, Kai's really going post left. I really am. I'm really going post left. Yeah, we've got, what?
Oh, I was just gonna, no, go ahead, finish and then I'll.
Let's see. Oh, well, I was just going to say, like, if you have, you need any definitions or anything like that, we've got commands in chat, and, I'm by all means, I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, the other day, like a few days ago, I was in one of my other friends, streamers, stream chat with them in their Discord. We were sitting there talking, all of a sudden someone decided that because they took a 5 months or 5 year course on Indigenous studies.
It's going to be 5 months.
Yeah, 5 month course on Indigenous studies and wrote a paper that apparently they knew more than me, who's been living it for the past 20 plus years.
I mean, depending on who taught the course, I may know more than them because you may end up learning a whole bunch of bullshit. And so somebody starting from 0, if you end up in -12, somebody starting at 0 has more than you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then they try. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Then the words of like, oh well, when I went to the class, we had 2 of my classmates were Native. Yeah, so.
Well, by the process of transference, I am now Native, right? Like that's how that works, right? You go to class with a couple of Indigenous people for 5 months and magic?
No.
Oh, all right. So, all right. Well, there goes that 5-month course. Jesus.
Oh yeah, and then they're like trying to act like, and I'm just like, wow, really? And then they're like, well, I need to check your credibility.
Oh
like,
Jesus!
Wait a minute.
Fucking
what?
Purity testing you. That's why I have a chat rule. Leave your purity test at the door.
So I'm like going, okay, well, I'm a Hunkpapa Dakota Oyate. Who are you? What tribe are you from? Well, I don't want to say because I might dox myself.
Yeah, that's not going to happen from that information.
Yeah, no. But, it just shit like that just kept rolling off their mouths. And then I just started basically slamming reality down on them. And they're like, all of a sudden they just like ditched. They left.
Oh, of course. They always do. I've come to the conclusion like 98 out of 100 people that actually get challenged, just cowards. All right, Nefarious. We should discuss the philosophy of ideology, so we can nail the ideologues right to the wall for pigeonholing themselves into singular reading with zero context behind it. No matter which ideologues, narrow-mindedness is the bane of human society. Don't disagree. There's an entire section in... Oh, God.
Damn it, Estrella. That's not what I was shooting for. I was trying to pretend like I'm white. Come on now. Damn it.
I forget which of the... It may have been Bob Black that had an entire section talking mad shit about ideologues. I will try and find that and make it a... Nefarious. Add a suggestion. Exclamation suggestion add... discuss philosophy of ideology.
Yeah.
Yeah, add a suggestion, please. So exclamation, suggestion, space, add, space, the suggestion. Thank you.
I'm like all for, if like if being that we have to realize that there are some serious things that have been done and are still being done today that would literally make it so to the point where there are a plethora of indigenous people or native people that just don't know what tribe or nation they're from. And so I'm all about, like, yeah, okay, that's fine, but if you come like, how do I put it? If you come like a dickhead, you're not gonna get very far. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of people that are still trying to search out their history and stuff. That
Yes.
you know.
And yes, it's exclamation suggestion add that you need to do, and that will trigger it. Yeah, you need to, Estrella had the command correctly. Hey, Raven, take care of yourself. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so
Hey, Raven.
Michael, row your boat ashore. And Maniac, congratulations. Thank you, Maniac, for the compliment. Yeah, like I said, it's in an alpha state. Anything with exclamation marks on it is still in a working state. But anything without exclamation marks on it should be ready to go. It probably needs some proofreading. But again, thank you. Which two things did you want clarification for, Michael? See if that triggered. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Do that again, Nefarious. I had accidentally turned it off. Yeah, accidentally turned the feature off. Left versus anarchism. Okay, so anarchism about the collapsing down of hierarchical power structures into what's called a hierarchy or a horizontal organizational structure, and a philosophical challenging of unjust power and authority mechanisms in society. Right. It's not this sort of monolithic utopic entity. It isn't a singular philosophy. It's a network of ideas. In the words of Emma Goldman, we much prefer it that way. Now, with that being said, leftism and anarchism share a whole bunch of ground. There's this sort of communally focused end goal. There's egalitarianism. There's humanitarianism. There's, altruistic elements. There's social programs. Anarchism would use mutual aid as opposed to the state to do it. But again, there's this sort of social focus. Where they depart is that on the left doesn't necessarily preclude things such as authoritarianism. It doesn't preclude collectivism, which weighs the group over the individual. Anarchism focuses on the empowerment of the individual to the betterment of the group. Right? It's about individual autonomy first and foremost. And it's about the subversion of those authoritarian systems. It's highly anti-authoritarian. So you can have like authoritarian communism and anarchism, and is technically left. It's not even technically left. It is a leftist ideology, whereas anarchism is antithetical to that, even though they do have a couple of shared points within their philosophy. But due to the anti-authoritarian nature of anarchism, we would be basically mortal enemies. So there's sort of some of the differences between the two. Anarchism can definitely be a leftist ideology, a leftist practice. But there are plenty of things within the leftist space that are antithetical to anarchism itself. There you go, Michael. Hope you're still around, and I eventually got your question. Sorry about that. It actually has worked.
Cool Boy add the ad on.
Oh, no, that wasn't. Yeah, that's just Cool Boy being smarmy. Suggestion: subtract the entire southeastern and midwestern U.S. from the USA. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yes, exactly, Nefarious. There's also no such thing as right-wing anarchism. However, there is neo-libertarianism and American libertarianism, which is, you know, a right-wing philosophy, and libertarianism used to be a synonym for anarchism internationally, but those days have long fucking sailed. Do you see an anarchic system working on a large scale? In fact, it has worked on a large scale in the past. 50% of the production during Spain's Spanish Civil War was anarchistically run commune, so sort of communism, but with anarchistic organizational structure. Zomia has 100 million people in it at present. Rojava has anarchistic organizational principles. Large scale, people have addressed the scope and scale topic for anarchism for, few generations now. It's not that complicated. Anarchism uses what's called federation. So you can have free association, autonomous individuals work together in affinity groups. Those affinity groups utilize a technique called free association. Free association causes larger groups to coordinate with one another. You then federate that, so you can then scale that up to, township, municipality, regional, county, state, whatever. And of course, all of this is built up from the ground up rather than the top down. And so such things such as like quote unquote legislation, though laws are a very sort of nebulous thing within anarchistic systems, but regulations and operating modalities would be done from the bottom up. So it would be sort of a collective of people in a specific space that have, a free associated affinity group would agree with one another to work in a certain set of principled ways, and then a group that they had an association with would agree with that methodology and they would adopt it, and this sort of federates up through the ranks. Rather, it federates out. We say up because that's, but it's actually a horizontal plane, so it's out. And so that would federate out. And so then the adoption of that becomes widespread. As for how this sort of can work in practice, anarchistic organizational structures has been working for ages. Indigenous communities have done it, but if you want somebody who's current and modern, you can look to like Puerto Real in Spain, which is anarcho-syndicalists who basically run the industry, ports, shipping industry. Recently, they moved into environmentalism, healthcare, and they're looking to reform the entire tax structure of that region, of that area right now. The Basque region of Spain, the Catalonians, all of these guys have been leaning on anarchistic principles for quite some time, but unfortunately they had the state thrust upon them. Breathe. Hey, cool boy. Rock on. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, there's hierarchy. Astamite, I don't really have any sort of clear vision for the future anarchistic society. For now, I'm more about questioning, understanding, and critiquing hierarchies. Astamite. Okay, so there's two different ways that you would phrase that. One is the Marxian way, which is you don't attempt to write recipes for the cookshops of the future. Then there's the anarchistic way. The anarchists say there is no project of projects. Right? You shouldn't be trying to state what an anarchistic organized society will look like in 50 years' time because of the dynamism contained within that system, right? If everybody's an autonomous individual within that system, how are you going to prescribe? How are you going to prefigure the organizational structure of that system? You can't. That's an authoritarian act. So anarchists say that there is no project of projects. That's our wording for that one. Is collective action impossible in the age of the individual? Anarchists have been living in the age of the individual since the 1860s, and I mean since we've used the term anarchist, right? It goes way back. It predates the term, right? Anarchism existed before the term anarchism existed. But since the mid 1860s, we've been using anarchists have been using the empowerment of the individual to the empowerment of the collective. So anarchists figure out how to have collective action by empowering individuals. 160 years ago. Like it's a thing. It's a thing. The White Way Colony would have seen the barrel end of the gun from the state if they didn't bring back private property. Yes, they would have. And I mean, Kospaya lasted for 375 years and was so successful as far as resource gains and, as a thriving community, it became a threat to the Papal States, for fuck's sake. And so the papacy itself blockaded Kospaya and starved him out and made him, hand over their sovereignty and swear fealty to the Papal States. It's a whole fucking thing. Let's see. I would call it the... type cheat sheet, exclamation cheat sheet for my cheat sheet. You can get a list of anarchistic societies. There's 11 of them on my list. There's been many, many more. But it works. I mean, the Iroquois League was an anarchistically organized set of, indigenous communities, and they used hierarchical organizational structure and direct democracy with universal voting policies. And they managed to federate it out just fine over several million people. There's an example here on this continent as far as, America goes. But there's examples the globe over. And federation doesn't actually, create another hierarchy. Anarchists know how to federate already. This is technology that's been solved. This is like saying we don't, what about making a phone call? We have this technology already. There's people already using it. There have been people using it for years and years and years. It's just a matter of teaching other people how to use it. Yeah, I know, right, Estrella? Skeptic is wishing you well for your coughing, Sue.
Huh?
Skeptic was concerned about you coughing up a lung.
Aww.
Said, please don't leave me.
Huh?
He said, please don't leave me, man. You're coughing up a lung, but in all seriousness, I hope you're doing good.
Thanks, Skeptic. Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's just my lungs. And I'm also, right now, I nuked up some coffee.
Yeah, I heard the microwave beep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Don't apologize. Astamite, exclamation Kospaya. I take care of you guys. Yeah. The Anarchistic Republic of Kospaya, or How to Piss Off a Pope and a Duke. Hey, Karina. Karina reminding everyone to hydrate, and all you depressed lovelies, remember your meds.
Yeah, I don't want to get into a long of it, but today I did a 7.5 hour stream, and towards the end of it, we talked about some very deep, serious conversations and subjects. So.
Yeah, I haven't really done much of that since I've been streaming. I used to back in the old Podbean days and stuff. Occasionally we'd get into it. There's a few of the old pre-recorded episodes too that there's one that's called Let's Get Dark.
Yeah.
And it gets really fucking dark.
It's good though, it's good because sometimes I find if we don't have like some serious conversations about some like real serious shit, we get the
By
we
skeptic.
get the huh?
I was just saying bye to skeptic.
Yeah. Oh, hey skeptic, see you later. Have a good sleep. Rest well. Love you long time.
Anyway, can finish your thought.
If like okay, basically what ends up happening is that it gets took into one-sidedness of an extreme, and it's not really looked at in its entirety. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's more dwelling on them if I don't just get it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can, I understand that process too.
Like, I mean, earlier in the morning, I was listening to someone reading from a book, and the book was talking about if you show someone kindness and compassion and caring, that's a violent offense, that's violence. And it's like, what?
This is
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
this is why I'm writing an essay on post-leftism. There's no way that was a right-winger's article or book. That smacks.
We are leftist.
Yeah, that smacks of leftist, like leftist id bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? How do you manage to twist up your ideology so far that you do that to it?
Yep. But it's happening more and more, and it's just like, seriously? And then you have it's like, it's the woke ideology. No, there's a difference between woke and just like, wow.
Well, I mean, this is for most people, this is woke skull. Like this is what that is. It's like, holy shit. Double speak straight up. Here's something I've been thinking about. It seems like the more authoritarian a society is, the more likely it is to make a historic name for itself. Am I onto something? No, you're 100% Astamine. That's a fair predictor. You show me somebody with a brutal genocidal leader at the helm, and I will show you somebody who's going to make the history books. Anybody heard the name Genghis Khan before?
Yep, Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, I think we've heard that name before. How about Joseph Stalin?
Yeah.
Mao Zedong? Yeah, I think we've heard of that guy too. I mean, this is the thing. You show me somebody who's a fucking just an authoritarian nutbag, and I'll show you somebody who's going to make the history books. Yeah, it's a fair rubric.
Mm-hmm. Anybody remember Ronald Reagan?
Never heard of him. I wish. Presumption that the ideal of anarchism as a destination is problematic. People need to understand that idealism is an indicator of path and generally unattainable, and it's entirely to provide direction for progress and change. Fox, I'd like to think I do that. Yes, I agree, Fox. I agree. I'd like to think that I do that, though. That part of my form of pedagogy, for those of you that aren't familiar with this word, it's the study of education, right? Basically, I'd like to think that Henry VIII, I'd like to think that I do point people at least, or at least I indicate that path, right? The best you can do. Like,
Oh, yeah. Australia, you're right, because it's literally, it's like, okay, so if you're going to kill off someone being kindness and showing compassion, because apparently the mood that you're in, you feel doesn't warrant it. It's like, really? So everything that we're working towards changing for the better is going to go down the shit tubes because you're canceling the core essence of what it is we're trying to work towards.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Mayan Max, welcome and namaste. Let's see. And RV said Pol Pot. Yeah, solid contribution, RV. Fucking Pol Pot. Anybody that even looked like they knew something, hey, think of it a follow mine, Max. Anybody who even looked like they were intellectual, he executed or had executed. Like, you wear glasses, dead. Like, anybody who even was perceived as an intellectual, fucking purged. The dude was batshit. I definitely think that you're working towards that understanding as a rule. All right, thank you, Nefarious. Yeah, and I do think that that is a valid concern, Nefarious. I think most people have never run a project in their life, Nefarious, and where my personal education or experience comes from on that is just running projects. Coming from IT, I've run projects of good size that, having that sort of perceived end destination isn't necessarily a thing that you could do in certain projects. And so, there is a way for that. Either way, thank you to follow resisting the system. Now, there was a bunch of Maniac, talk about woke scold. Let's see. Oh, Jesus, I saw that Whiskey Tango. Fucking Pol Pot. Hindsight, now 2020. Talk about woke scold. I had a guy come into my stream a few weeks ago and demand I change my name because it was ableist. Maniac, yeah. I never intended to offend or insult anyone by it. It's actually personal to me in a few ways, but I also think things like that can go too far sometimes. Yeah, 100%. There's a bunch of words I want back. I'm a firm believer in the euphemism treadmill. Here's the true fact of the matter, folks. The word you find offensive today was a clinical term or an actual technical term once upon a time.
Yeah.
And people adopted it as an insult. And then the professional field migrated the terminology. And then they adopted those terms as insults or pejoratives or derogatory terms. And then the professionals moved the word again. Welcome to the euphemism treadmill. It doesn't matter what you change the word to or say you can't say that or put say that term is off limits now. A new term will be used. New insult's going to fill the void. It's going to come into the vacuum, right? It's just inevitable. And so the treadmill turns. So you have a choice. You accept that the treadmill is going to turn, or
what do you mean, boomer? I'm a fucking boomer. He's not a boomer. I'm the boomer here. You better put that joke in the same sentence from now on.
Yeah, this is the actual terminology. Opioid, bad joke. Relax. Sorry. This is the actual term. It's called the euphemism treadmill. That's the terminology you want to search for if you want to read more about it. Opioid. Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't even worry about it.
I know opioid. I was giving you fucking just as much flack as you were joking. All good, opioid.
Interesting. Astamite. Interesting. Do I know about the Charles de Gaulle military coup and rewrite of the French Constitution giving extraordinary powers to the presidency? I mean, I couldn't quote it. I couldn't cite it verbatim, but yeah, I know a little of the stuff around de Gaulle. It's interesting. You got a fucking airport named after him too, by the way. Fox, I've been a designer and fabricator for years. Understanding the ideal and applying to it is to reality is my jam. Rock on, Fox. Fabricator.
Yeah,
what do you make? Anyway, sorry, Sue.
No worries. I think it's, it seems we have too much of extremism. And in that extremism, you're pushing out people that are your base.
Oh, that's why we have the channel statement of praxis. Because yeah, I'm not looking to run a safe space. There's places for that, and don't get me wrong, different praxis for different places. But the fact of the matter is that if you, as let's say a woke leftist, are looking to recruit and you're looking to spread the word of the workers movement, and you're looking to expand union membership, and you go down to, let's say, the docks, the incoming port for your nation, or a manufacturing facility, you know, an iron works. Take your pick. Doesn't fucking matter. Go down and have that conversation with the actual working class, and then scold them when they say something inappropriate. Let me know how your recruitment goes.
Yeah. See how that works.
It's naive. It's short-sighted. I'm not saying you don't educate. I'm not saying that you can't instruct people on how to be more sensitive towards others' feelings. I'm just saying that reactionary measure, and it is reactionary, that reactionary measure is counterproductive. Just is. And if you really want to do this up academically, do not attempt to castigate their working class vernacular, because what you're doing when you do that is classism.
Viva!
Mine Max, when we see trees which are tall, short, bent, thick, thin, etc., we assume that it's because of the conditions like sunlight and water that the tree gets. But when we see people with differences, all of a sudden we forget everything and start insulting them instead of trying to understand what they could have gone through. That is fair. A little bit material conditioning, but fair. Yeah, true cycle. Yeah, exactly. Estrella, queer was an insult for how long? I can see baby gays trying to say it's a slur, but they can pry it out of my cold, dead hands. I know, right? Similar process in linguistics, really, actually, literally, all the same meaning. I know, right? Drives me up a wall on that one, but all of them changed meaning over time to become terms of emphasis. Airport and aircraft carrier, both fortuitous for De Gaulle. Language is weird. Language is evolving. Geography 2. Critiquing how people speak is a dead end for any conversation. Viva, what do you mean?
No.
Oh.
Wait, we're going to set you straight. By tomorrow morning, you'll be a regular...
Yeah, we've played that on air, actually. It's the gay ironworks in The Simpsons, when Homer thinks Bart is gay and he tries to take him to the manliest place, and it's just nothing but gay dudes at the foundry. Opioid, it is actually. It is. Okay, so this is the conversation that many people on the left are not ready for, right? This is the foundational belief of post-anarchism. Kimmel, that makes me feel really good. Thank you for that compliment. Whether you meant it that way or not, that's an amazing compliment. Kimmel said, I want to leave, but this is too interesting. That's a foundational belief of post-anarchism, is that you already have all of the tools necessary to undermine authoritarianism, that there isn't anything to do, that all that's left to do is to make up your mind. It's as simple as changing your mind and redirecting your willpower. Now, that is super complicated, right? Like, this is the sort of Taoist yin yang of it, right? That it is as simple as changing your mind. But the problem is that you have a system filled with people who have to have their minds changed, right? But it really is, the starting position for anarchism should be that you are born free. You are born an autonomous, unique individual that cannot be put into boxes, that identities and categories do nothing but hinder who you are and restrict you, and are tools of an authoritarian hierarchy that manipulates you and manages you. And to free yourself from that is to become an unbeing, right, is to refuse those labels, is to refuse that identity, is to say, no, I am me. And I have autonomy to make decisions for myself, to do as I will, as long as it does not harm another. It's that simple. It really is. Welcome to post-anarchism.
One of the things that I talked about too today was
It's not class reductionism, Ricky. It's actual intersectionalism. Anyway, so continue.
one of the things I was saying today too was like, by doing that, it's okay. We're stuck in this world that it's all about I, me, and we forget about us in we. The whole entire process behind anarchism and communism is us and we.
Not anarchism. Not anarchism, but communism.
Yeah.
Yeah, anarchism reclaims the I.
Oh, did they? Why do you have to reclaim the I, dude? Come on now, let's step away from the I and work as we.
Well, because you can't have the we, you can't have the free association of the we without the freed I. It's the way it works. To have a free association of autonomous individuals, you have to have a group of autonomous individuals to start with.
Well, I mean, indigenous communities all had autonomous individuals, but they all worked together.
Yeah, but we're starting from a broken position. Right?
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, we're trying to put the eggshell back together.
Yeah.
And so you first have to teach people how to be themselves first.
Yeah.
And then once they can reclaim that individual power, you can teach them how to be a functioning member of a society.
Do you know how like
Nice, Mike.
I just don't know if we're going to be stuck in this infancy phase for another 50 years or so. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be a while. I don't have high hopes for it.
I mean, if we look at it just in North America alone, every 20, 30, 40 years, we have the same thing happens. And it's like nobody remembers the previous incidences.
Well, I mean, we're not taught history intentionally.
True.
That's one of the things. Kimmel, yeah, I feel you, Lasso. I need this to hurry up. Let's see.
Like, if we just keep sticking and staying, how do I put it? Okay, this is how I'm going to explain it. And forgive me for those of you who may not understand this completely or whatever, but when you have two eagles, a male and a female eagle, and they have baby eaglets. When those baby eaglets become old enough, the parents push them to the edge of the nest, and they're scared. They don't want to go. No. They're scared to fly. The mother is sitting there on the nest with the baby eaglets around her wings. The father is circling the tree, waiting for his children to take that leap, to watch over them. The baby eaglets are all trying to huddle up to their mom and like, no, mommy, I don't want to go. I'm scared. The mother's like, here, boom, learn to fly. And she pushes them off the edge. The father's there circling around to make sure that if any of the children don't learn how to fly at that moment, that he catches them before they hit the ground. If that makes sense.
It makes sense, but I mean, we can't really do it with society as a whole. It's a beautiful idea. But I don't know how we could introduce a program of that. If you can programize that, then by all means.
Well, I mean, we've managed to be able to do that in indigenous cultures for a very long time. But
like I said,
yeah, exactly, Mike. They're safe, but they just don't realize it.
but yeah, we can't. Yeah, there's no way to that presupposes a system of safety for individuals within our society. Okay, so all right. We need UBI, housing as a right, and universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can start talking about Sue's program. Because that's what we need. The male eagle in that, the safety net. We need the safety net. So people aren't afraid to take the risk. So that people aren't afraid to strike out on, that venture, that creative exercise, that thing that may fail. We need housing as a right. We need solid social safety net programs in this society. Then we could have that conversation.
I think what we're looking at here is here's a start. Land back. If we all sat back and got behind land back, then we can start looking at housing is no longer an issue. We have guaranteed housing. Then we can start looking at making sure that everybody's got food. Food is not an issue.
I'm going to argue healthcare comes first. And the reason you didn't think of it is because you're a Canadian.
I have to say, though, like, literally, we can sit back and do, like, okay, we're not, how do I put this? We're not unintelligent to the factor that we can't do multiple things at once. But we
have you met America?
Yeah, I know. Fuck sakes. Okay.
Okay, so RV giant paragraph. Kai, the issue I was mentioning earlier was the conflict between the good faith type of praxis here and the militancy of some anti-fascists. Basically, some anti-fascists have a very authoritarian nature. Oh, you're not kidding. Which to me is troubling. They believe DRAD is either a lost cause or that humanizing fascists is unacceptable. Oh yeah, there's nothing problematic with that. I'm somewhere in the middle, as I think good faith, uncomfortable conversations are worthwhile and expose us to dangerous thoughts. No, I don't really. I mean, RV, you probably already know my thoughts on this one. Yeah, I would much rather have the conversation than to like scream them down.
I would have to say, okay, yes, healthcare and food security are two very important issues. But you are never going to get it with this government. It doesn't matter what the fuck you say. You're just never going to get it. But with land back, it begins that whole entire process where that can be possible.
You're not going to... Dude, we can't get healthcare. You think you're going to fuck it? Okay, so like I saw a declared win. Like somebody gave back like 113 acres the other day. It's like it's essentially a parking lot. Like, yeah. Some of our commercial facilities, that's a parking lot. Like, and it was championed as like, and people were like, yeah, and that's all you're getting back. Like, fucking, yeah. Good luck with it.
Or we'll just give you Florida.
Oh, you can have it.
Y'all can keep fucking Florida. Better yet, we'll push you all of you that don't want to live and want to continue living in capitalism and fucking that shit. We can push you all to Florida, and y'all can stay there.
Viva. Then you have a SOCDEM society. I'm a firm believer, and I mean this is me talking as an anarchist, right? There's this guy. There's a French socialist by the last name of Gores. who made the argument, and rather successfully in my mind, that you can utilize social programs as a leading edge of anti-capitalism and anti-authoritarianism. That basically what you can do is bootstrap, and I use it in the correct form rather than what these dumbass chuds in my society have taken to using bootstraps as is shorthand for. But you can bootstrap it to, you can bootstrap that sort of stuff like Sue and I were just discussing. If we implemented those sort of social programs, which most anarchists would be against, right? Like you're utilizing the state mechanism. But if you properly implement that so people have a universal basic income, they have guaranteed housing, they have universal health care, right? The pressure that takes off of people means that we can start addressing that poverty of philosophy. We can start having the proper anarchist education. We can start engaging in community programs and mutual aid that withdraw people from the capitalist program, that withdraw them from the statist programs. And we can start creating our own societally based safety nets rather than a statist based safety net. Yeah. And so we need that breathing room. And until we can get that breathing room, we can't really do much of anything. Like people got kids to feed and shit out there. What are you gonna like, hey, take a couple weeks off and do X, Y, and Z? It's just not an option. And so we can Samantha. Hey, Samantha. So we can bootstrap that sort of stuff. We can use those socialized programs and get some distance. And once we get that breathing room, now we can start talking actual programs. From New Mexico, we gave them land back, but no running water or electricity. No hunting on 113 acres, Mike. That's just not a thing that's going to happen. Sam, hey, question. Can lobbying and corporate campaign contributions be done morally or ethically? Please help. Corporate campaign contributions can't be done ethically because corporations in America are inherently an amoral entity. You can't bring ethics into that conversation. Could lobbying be done morally or ethically? I mean, there's a discussion to be had there. Yeah. Basically, if you, I could see a moral, the ethics are going to be a little shady. It's going to be very Machiavellian. This is very much going to be, the ends justify the means situation. Because the lobbying is inherently unethical and morally dubious. But based on what you're attempting to make happen with that lobbying, then the morals can clear up and the ends may justify the means. So it depends what level of Machiavellianism you're comfortable with, and then you can make your judgment from there. There is no universal answer to that. Like when you get into like ethical quandaries and that sort of thing, there's never going to be a universal answer. It's going to be a per basis answer. So what are you trying to do in this situation? What does it entail? What are the end goals? What are the compromises that are going to be required of you for engaging in it? And then you can start talking about the ethical quandary you find yourself in.
I hope that helps, Samantha.
Sam said, that's fair.
By the way, love you, Cola.
You're debating a shitlord right now. Fair enough. It was nice to hear a not shit take, and I value your input. You're welcome, and thank you, Sam. You're debating Destiny. Oh, good luck with that. Dude, he just debates everybody, doesn't he? Like, I've learned that about him the past couple of days. Like, like, I always thought of Destiny as, like, some sort of, like, stratified, like, debate lord online. Like...
Be careful, Kai.
Like, he apparently just debates everybody.
Be careful, Kai.
How? Why?
Because they have a habit of sending shit assholes into your stream.
Oh, well, whatever. I'm okay with that. Oh, debate infrared next. Oh, I had a victory over infrared. Yeah, 100%. I asked him to come on the stream. He hasn't responded. I can only assume, I have no other logical conclusions that I can come to reasonably, that he is clearly avoiding my my DM, and because he is terrified to have a conversation with me. I mean, that's the only logical conclusion I could come to. Have you seen this dude yet, Sue?
Who?
Infrared.
No.
This guy's batshit insane.
Okay. I'll take your word on it. I have no idea who the fuck that guy is.
Holy shit. You'll hear about him.
Who the fuck Bosch or fucking Destiny or any of these fucking people were.
Yeah, Maniac. Oh my fucking god. Infrared is legit nuts. No, he's sincerely batshit insane, Sue. Like, if you were physically around him, I'd be concerned for your safety. He's worrisome. He is an unironic, unapologetic Stalinist, and he is angry as fuck. Yeah. And straight up debate, bro. Like, if I yell I won loud enough and enough times, clearly I won the debate. So, yeah, that's why I'm poking. Yeah, he also likes deep throating mics. Dude, he blows his mics out. It sounds like he's just fucking, like, got the mic halfway down his throat when he's speaking, because he's constantly screaming into the mic. Yeah, that's why I've taken to just straight up saying, you know, yeah, straight up, I want to debate again against Infrared, you moron fucks. Yeah, that's why I've taken to doing this. Like, because this is literally what he does. He just declares victory.
Yeah,
and
even though he's lost.
It doesn't even matter if there's an objective winner or loser. He just declares victory. He won. And so, yeah, I sent him a DM earlier today, and sure, he hasn't had time to get back to it, and he's been busy yelling at other people and whatever else. But as far as I'm concerned, I didn't really challenge him to a debate. I merely invited him to come on to have a conversation. But clearly, because I haven't heard back within 6 hours or 8 hours, I won. Because reasons. Why not?
So, Sal's asked me, I have a question. Was there a genuine European integration to the Native Americans, like people who just wanted to live there and try to integrate? I would imagine not, because it would have been very expensive. Actually, not really, Sal's. We do have records and memories of white Europeans actually living as a part of our community, and integrating with us. There is people like that. There have been people like that that came. They weren't bad guests. Unfortunately, there was too many bad guests compared to the ones that weren't bad guests, if that makes any sense.
Oh, he made it quite clear anarchists are beneath him. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there was coming from the East Coast. Like, I remember hearing about a couple of groups that there were some Frenchmen that integrated.
Well, the Quakers were one. Quakers were one group that integrated with Indigenous people and got along and were honorable with Indigenous people, with their interactions with Indigenous people. There were a bunch of settlers who integrated with Indigenous people, learned our languages, learned our customs, everything else, and worked with us. So it's not like it's not unheard of, or that never wasn't a thing. It's just, sadly, the majority of the population of European people that came over weren't that way.
Karina, Columbus didn't even set foot on this fucking continent. Columbus didn't draw first blood. Whole other Europeans did that. Columbus was a nightmare for the Taino people. But that's Caribbean islands. Like, that's the islands down in the Caribbean. Columbus literally never set foot on this continent.
Yeah.
Guy was a shitlord.
which is why you'll hear when you like people follow me and I'm streaming, you're gonna hear "Kill Columbus." You're gonna hear that loud and fucking clear. Just fucking already. Columbus has to die. This whole entire ideology that Columbus was the first European to ever set foot on North American soil was full of shit.
Didn't even land here.
Didn't even land here. Didn't even land here, and he sure the fuck didn't discover fuck all because he got lost at sea.
Yeah, Cortez was a total nightmare. Yeah, SJ. SJ, aka SJ. Nice, like it. No, you're totally welcome. I run a big tent. You don't have to. It's none of that sort of thing. Finland is another can of worms. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. See, Columbus takes the fucking heat, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of assholes who should be name checked. But to be perfectly honest, unless you're talking about the Taino people in the Caribbean, Columbus really didn't even bother you. As far as this continent and the first peoples on this landmass go, Columbus wasn't a thing. Just wasn't a thing. But as far as the Caribbean goes, he was a goddamn nightmare. But you know, us as like Americans, we should be name checking other assholes instead, because reasons.
Yeah, like there's like Vikings were amongst some of the, not necessarily the first people ever to come over to North America, but Vikings were here way before a lot of these people that we're just talking about were here.
Yeah.
They came over and they went, they were here for a season. They couldn't handle the winters and they went back. But then Vikings were always that way. They come.
Yeah, it's, you know, I'm sure if they wanted to establish a settlement, they probably could have. They're from Nordic region anyway, but they were wanderers by trade. That's what they did.
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, Karina, yes, Newfoundland.
Newfies. Yeah, all of the conquistadors were total dicks to natives, though. Yeah, I mean, you know, they were named conquistadors. Just saying. There's a hint in the name.
No.
You know, hey, did you know the total massacring genocidal fuckheads were kind of mean? Oh, interesting. So you're saying the total genocidal massacring fuckheads were not great? No, the total genocidal massacring fuckheads were kind of dicks to the people around them. Interesting.
Hey, you all have seen the picture, right? I'm familiar with lawsuit and I fuck with their shit and I am not smart enough to have many political positions. Well, thank you, SJ. And I'm not sure what do you mean by fuck with their shit.
Oh, no. It's a good thing. Like, it's a thing you like, you fuck with that shit.
Oh, okay.
Fucking, that was the most boomer shit I've ever heard out of your mouth, quite frankly. My old ass just had to explain slang to you. Love it.
So, we've all seen the historical picture of the Spanish conquistadors, whatever, with the dogs eating and attacking indigenous people in front of them. That is what the conquistadors did to the two-spirited people. So for anyone who's gay, lesbian, or trans, or non-binary, that's what conquistadors were all about.
And I mean, for those of you that don't speak Spanish, conquistador means conqueror. just FYI. This is my whole routine about the genocidal maniac fuckheads. Like the name literally says conqueror, right in the name. Yeah, they weren't good guys.
No. And as a matter of fact, if you can watch Stolen Anarchy by Twin Rabbit, who is also a favorite here in this channel, I do remember, if I remember correctly. Yes. Right?
Yeah. Momo's live. By the way, tangent. Yes, go check out Twin Rabbit. I should have. Suggestion.
You need to set it up, bro.
Well, I'm not. His Twitch channel is, no offense, Rabbit, but his Twitch channel is useless. Rabbit and Swede's YouTube channels on command. There we go. Suggestion, add that. Thank you. Kimmel, thank you for the follow. Looks like you haven't made your way out yet. You don't need to just yeah, thank you, Mike. Fucking, are you on the Discord server, Mike? If not, yeah, you're on the Discord server. Put it on shared content for me. You don't need to ever add your stuff to the show promotion, the self-promotion thing. That's part of the custom Discord bot now. It handles all of that for the community. So when you go live, it'll wait a couple of minutes to get a screenshot and see what you're up to, and then it'll blast it out for you. Just FYI.
Hey, Thea. Yeah, like there's, shit. There's so many different things that you really have to take a look at. Like, when it comes to history and shit, it's like, damn. There's so much shit that literally is like hidden in schools because schools aren't meant to teach you real history. They're meant to teach you to be a fucking robot to the how the fuck do you say that again?
Conquistadors.
Conquistadors. Basically, yeah, when you look at it, that's basically all it is these people here are conquistadors. They're the 1%, the corporations, and the government that we have at this present time and moment is exactly that. And they don't give a fuck about anything about you. They may placate to you because it brings them profit, or it brings them votes, or it makes you spend money at their stores because you're thinking that they actually support you when they don't support you at all. Am I going off on a tangent here?
No, it's I was just one of those fun facts I was going to share related to the teachings of history that you don't get taught is where America's name came from.
Yep.
It's named after a guy by the name of Amerigo Vespucci. He was a pickle merchant. Not kidding. This guy was a pickle merchant, and basically it was the naming of America. It was named after him. It's due to this whole map and relations and who he knew. But it's straight. It is straight like nepotism and good old boys club. And he supplied pickles to a lot of the whole. He was a pickle merchant. He supplied pickled vegetables to many of the explorers and conquistadors. And so we were named after a pickle merchant. Just FYI, Amerigo Vespucci. It's one of those just like, hey, here's part of your history you just don't get taught. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of that shit. Let's see. And Guitar Mike always knew, right there with the Amerigo Vespucci. We definitely need an entirely new educational system and way of teaching. There's a guy, let me try and find him. Of the year, Prussian educational system. Let me try and find this guy's name because John Taylor Gatto. This guy was the former New York State Teacher of the Year. And he has written a whole fuck ton of articles. Hey, Viva! Thank you for the resub. And you're quite welcome. John Taylor, Gatto. This guy tears apart the American educational system. He speaks about its Prussian origins, how the Prussian military regimentation style is the foundational influence for the American educational system, how it's fundamentally designed to make good little soldiers. And that has been transitioned into good little lever pullers for corporations. And so, yeah, if you want to read about how intentionally broken the educational system is, John Taylor Gatto is a good read on that matter. He has written quite a few articles and books about it.
Well, what they got? What is it? Who is it? I think it's Apple or some other company like that. That's literally starting up their own college university courses, so that directly, therefore, they're training you how to become an employee in that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
For them themselves, which means even if you go and you take that and for whatever reason you end up being fired, there is no other company that is going to hire you because you do not have the proper education and teach and understanding to be able to switch from the way Apple does things to say the way Windows does things or Microsoft. You know what I mean? Like it's different systems, but if you only have one system of understanding, you're not going to be able to get a job if that job fails you wherever you got that one system of schooling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kat, how do you not like pickles, man? Fucking escabeche. How do you fucking, like, why do you sleep? You're sleeping on escabeche. Fucking.
Don't get into it. Kat's been in a feisty mood lately.
You should have been here last night.
Oh, no, you should have seen my fucking goddamn Discord chat.
That wasn't even, you should have heard the fucking hot takes that Kat was dropping last night. Fucking that, I've seen that. That was lukewarm compared to what Kat was dropping last night. Fuck.
I swear I love Kat with all my fucking heart, but I swear Kat is missing some fucking like hardcore debate shit. And he's like having.
Well, you were quoting a homophobe.
Well,
it's fucking true.
As I stated, I had no fucking idea. I just seen the one video of him.
Yeah.
I see the one fucking statement that fucking makes sense and is based as fuck. I didn't know anything about the guy previously or any of his other shit.
Whiskey clock is right twice a day. You don't know what's going on, but you can't log on to Discord. Mike, if you want to create a new account, if like I'm the only Discord server you're on, then I will just send you a new link in your whispers, and you can just create a new account. I don't know if that's what you're...
I have a feeling that if Mitre and Kat are here, then that means Kai's gonna be this one.
Okay, well, I sent you a link. It'll expire, but you know, you do you. So no worries either way. You sleep on a humble pickle merchant? Yeah, that's another thing. Fucking America has just absolutely ass backwards. Fucking pickles. You mean pickled cucumbers? Like, there's only one pickle in this country, and it's a fucking pickled cucumber. Meanwhile, if you say pickle to most of humanity, they're like, yeah, what? Pickled what? Like, there's lots of pickles. Yeah. Pickles are great. Natural pickled too, by the way. Real pickles.
There's pickled eggs as well, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Remember those jars, those big jars at the bar?
Oh,
when you would go there?
So they're so disgusting, but yeah. Yes, Mike, lacto fermented. Yes, real fucking pickles. Not this vinegar, acetic acid bullshit pickles. Real fucking pickles. My coworker makes homemade pickled eggs and beets together. Australia, you can pickle anything. It's great for probiotics too. Like a gherkin. Yeah, like a gherkin. That's a cucumber meat try. Pickled peppers. Lots of things you can do with Jesus Christ. Pickled cauliflower. Dude, and okay, so for those, let's plug it. Based pickles. Do I have an invite? I can do an invite on their fucking server. If anybody wants, there is literally a Discord server and community with a bunch of us. There's the link for based pickles. Kombucha, like pickled vegetables, kimchi, whatever your deal is. It is, and it's seen as start a YouTube, will it pickle? Food preservation is based. It really is. Being able to being able to grow and preserve your own food outside of the factory and commercial food system. That's the definition of based, folks. Like, that's some real shit. And so, yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think I'm a little old, but I still remember that shit being done. Like, it wasn't so much relied upon of these fucking grocery stores and shit. It was your majority of your vegetables and shit were like grown in your backyard.
I grew up that way too. That's, you and I have a window into a world that a lot of people don't have, actually. You got 200 tomato plants this year. Fuck yeah, Mike. For those of you that aren't, I know Mike, right? Like, for those of you that aren't aware of this relationship, I actually like real life know Mike.
Okay.
So yeah, that's gonna make epic sauces. Rock the fuck on. Yeah, I grew up with like a mountaintop in Vermont, and we had many gardens. We had a greenhouse, so we were growing year round. And so yeah, no, I grew up with that as well. Like, you know, we bought our meat. We weren't a hunting family. And so we bought our meat for the most part, occasionally traded. But we never bought vegetables. The only fruit I ever remember us buying were cherries, because we didn't grow cherries, but blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, apples.
Yep.
I mean, all of that shit was just there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is stuff that it's like, I don't know what the hell.
Capitalism, bro. Capitalism happened.
I swear, man. You know, I was younger, I got locked up in jail, and when I came out, the world fucking changed on me.
That happens. I've heard that from many prisoners. Yeah.
It went from actually having based reality things to shit.
Whiskey. We had a bunch of rhubarb. Rhubarb is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to like break off a stalk and just bite it randomly as a little kid, because the bitterness, it's just one of those things, like Sour Patch Kids, but like normal, like for real. Let's see.
You know, these are like, it's like, wow, that's the original sin of capitalism. The peasant had a lord, but he had land from which to eat. After the Lord's share was given, capitalism said, no, you no longer grow to eat, you pay to eat. Yeah, SJ. When you grow food, you strike at the heart of capitalism. Yes, exactly. Which is why one of my regulars on my channel is actually fighting with their landlord, because their landlord is trying to give them an eviction notice for starting a garden on their balcony.
Oh, that's some bullshit. Mitre. How so? Whose DMs did he slide into? Remember the comments I read earlier from some insane tanky? That's Andrew.
Okay.
Oh, mine right now, Kat says. Oh, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Isn't that why India Strike's so effective?
There we go.
I mean, and I want copies, Kat. I want to see some. Same dialogue. Okay, never mind then. Same dialogue tree, nothing new. Evicted for growing food on a balcony. Wow, such democracy. Very freedom. That's bullshit. And my whispers too. Well, if he comes up with anything new, feel free to share it. Sent them to your Discord. Oh, right. Oh, thank you. Same. So some of the same new stuff. I say the same old stuff. Yeah, that's some bullshit right there. I set up a bunch of years ago. I've dismantled it in the past year and a half ago, maybe. They're really proud about destroying Polish and Sanderhall. Yeah, of course. I set up an aquaponics system in my backyard because growing food in the desert is a bitch, right? Like I'm in a place that shouldn't exist, right? Like Las Vegas should not exist. This place is just, yeah, Astomite with fish. Yeah, it was a whole fucking thing. It was a multi-year project, but honestly, it allowed me growth potential year round. It didn't matter if we had a cold snap because the warmth of the water, and in the summer it kept everything cool with the running water. I had year round growing potential in fucking Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah. Yeah. Ran that for a bunch of years. 5-6 years, something like that. But it just became sort of a lot to maintain at a certain point. It wasn't small. I started with a 300-gallon tank and expanded from there. I used an agricultural trough as the fish tank. Estrella. Cat or Mitre, feel free to send that over to Andrew. Yeah, like feel free to use that as copy pasta. Fuck it, who cares? Fan the flames. Fuck that guy. But yeah, no, growing your own food is super liberating. And by the way, really fucking good for you. And I don't mean as in like the food is good for you because it doesn't have X, Y, and Z. I mean the act of actually growing food, planting, maintaining. It's really good for you.
Shit, grandparents used to grow food all the time, and it was part of the gardening, was part of their healthy routine to keep them active and healthy. Like, really? You know what I mean? Not just because it's good. Like,
yeah.
Literally.
It's literally good for you. 1, it's meditative. 2, it's super relaxing. And 3, it's actual physical activity. Mike, you're rocking 200 tomato plants and you're still a hand waterer. That's kind of epic. Fucking prolific hand waterer. Good for the soul and anti-capitalist. Yep. And, you know, with what you don't consume and you don't can and pickle yourself. Oh, by the way, this is, if you've checked the skills exchange area, you'll notice, I think for myself, I think I listed, under my food, the experienced cook area, like food preservation, fermentation, canning, dehydration, and even nitrogen and vacuum packing. In my day, I still have a nitrogen tank in this house. I developed I didn't buy any pre-made. I developed a system for nitrogen packing. And so I put food down for a long period of time, and I had massive food stores. And when a couple of buddies of mine, who Mike would know, went through rocky periods, I busted those fucking food containers out, like big old food grade buckets. And I had Mylar packs in them and dehydrated food and all sorts of stuff that had been put down for a couple of years at least and were perfectly good. And when my buddies, ran into a rough patch and, couldn't feed themselves, here's a bucket of food that is organically grown, homegrown, hand packed. You want to talk mutual aid? Put down your excess food, because if you grow food, you will grow more food than you will consume. So find a way to preserve it and share it.
Yep. And yeah, Mike, exactly, right? Every grandparent except for one grew up on the farm. it was the number one profession in the Depression. Exactly. Number one profession, growing your own food.
Yeah.
In the Depression, because you weren't making enough money to be able to buy a house full of fucking groceries.
Yep.
So you had to feed your family somehow.
Yep. And I mean, you want to starve to death? It's not a pretty way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, 120 houseplants too, got out of control. Half a farm going on my backyard. Sucks. Spain has a short growing season though. Gonna work on building a greenhouse for cold frame greenhouse this year. Yeah, it was transformative. When we built our greenhouse in Vermont, it wasn't a small greenhouse either. It was attached to the house. It was a whole fucking thing. It was my mom's project. She loved it. But yeah, that really transformed the winter months. People focus a lot on a new mode of production capitalism brought, and how despite bringing amazing progress, it also brings unprecedented exploitation and power to the ruling class. But we often forget we need to not just repurpose the fruits of capitalism, but reclaim what was there before and was stolen by capitalism, and the means to sustain yourself and your community, the security of the land, the many collective cultures snuffed by capitalism, capitalist colonialism, is restorative and progressive at the same time. Hey, sweet agony. Yes.
Hi,
Yes, I do not disagree. I agree. There's a whole bunch of stuff we need to be doing, but fruit production. Okay, look, we covered it before. Fucking, we need to do a bunch of stuff that isn't necessarily anarchistic in nature, but we also need to do a bunch of stuff that is just like super based. Yeah.
See, this is what I keep saying, because what I've noticed is like, okay, in a lot of spaces, especially here in Twitch, don't even get me started on Twitter, but here in Twitch, it's like in a lot of these spaces, all it is just circle jerks, and no one is actually doing fuck all, just sitting there and arguing things. And it's like, well, no, start doing this shit, like seriously, like,
being a productive member of your community is good, actually. Who would have guessed?
You're right, Kat.
Look, I'm a theory head. There's space for theory, there's space for debate, but
Sure.
there is, there's the we're gonna fucking, this motherfucker's gonna appear if we keep saying his name, but there is the let's not even do it. The debate bro class. That, I mean, it's entertainment. It's not praxis. It isn't.
Yeah.
It's not praxis. It's not educational proper. It's not, it's debate bro stuff. And so it falls firmly under education.
Yeah, okay. So what we've gotten to is, instead of actual praxis and like real actual work, we've gotten to the dopamine, and that's it.
Asked to bite, I don't even think debates are fun. As somebody who was trained in speech and debate, I disagree. Debate me. But we need that dopamine hit. But people forget what praxis is. Praxis is theory put into action and reflected upon. Theory, action, reflected upon. Okay? It's a circle. You take the theory, you put it into action, and then you reflect upon what you just did, and then you modify your theory if necessary. Then you put it into action again, right? Like, this is what praxis actually is. And so, they're missing a couple of key components. One, the action, and two, the whole reflection upon portion, too, by the way. That's, if you just do the theory, I could even leave room for debate bro, right? Like theory, and then putting that into action is part of the debate bro. You see it as your form of action in the community. That's fine. But have you reflected upon it? Are you modifying anything about it? Are you changing anything? Are you just doing the same old thing? You're just, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yes, Fortuus. Yes, it's an iterative process.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
Hey, a
you
Rosa
know,
emote.
a lot of these streams and stuff, it's cool, it's good. You're starting to awaken, you're starting to grow, you're starting to question things, or you're questioning the normality of what's being pumped down your throat by what we see on TV and shit all the time.
That's not going to be a definition of praxis, Estrella. That's going to be the channel praxis. But praxis is the process by which a theory is put into action. Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what praxis is. It's taking a theory or an idea, putting it into action, making it work. That's praxis. Hence theory, action, reflection.
Yeah, so if you're not doing any action, how can you reflect on it, or how can you do, you know what I mean? It's just theory. You're not doing anything with it. So it's like sitting in a circle jerk. It's not going anywhere. And then what leads to what it leads to is where you find this whole entire thing of purity, right? Where, now we're not doing anything and putting anything into action, or we're not reflecting on it afterwards either. We're just constantly
Circle jerk sounds good right about now.
oh my.
Oh, we need to go, because guess what? We need to come up with some cutting edge theory. The book isn't all written, in my opinion, at least. SJ, the book will never be completely written. That's the point. I mean, this is what an anarchist would tell you, right? Like, I've had to mention it once already. There's no project of projects, at least for an anarchist. Other groups will tell you there's a project, right? Like, there's a thing to be accomplished. Anarchists will tell you that it's about education and instilling people with a sense of autonomy. And then it's sort of hands off, right? Like, it's, the best I can do as an anarchist is to teach you, is to give you the tools, or at least make them available to you, that would empower you as a free, autonomous individual. And then, well, we'll see what happens. Because past that, anarchists believe in hierarchy. We believe in anti-authoritarianism. We believe in individual autonomy. And that means I don't get to prescribe something for you. Ooh, goody.
I guess that would be called path of a true human being.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people who have put words to the idea. Hey, I believe those things too. Can we be friends? That is called free association. Mike, that's called free association. Truly autonomous individuals are free to associate. They're free to make those alliances and dissolve them as they see fit. And that is exactly that at work. Hey, I believe in those things too. Can we be friends? Welcome to what it looks like, folks. All right, so Kat sent me another copy, a copy of.
Oh Lord, the conversation.
Yeah. Wait, what did he? What am I? Okay, so Kat, what is it? Kat made a deal with him. Hey, Fortuus. Kat made a deal with him. That, like, if you promise not to harass anyone from the community for 3 days, I'll have him play it on stream. What is it? Oh, it's just some 3-minute dumb video from Infrared. Oh yeah, I'll get right on that. We'll check it out ahead of time. Why communists live in a gulag? Because they're communal. Oh God, I saw some dude today arguing that there was nothing particularly bad about gulags, that they're just prisons. So the critique of gulags should be coming from. It was just like, holy shit! Did you just say there was nothing particularly bad about gulags? Like there was no amount of context that this dude could apply after that statement. I was like, that's a take.
Okay, wait, what?
Uh,
So you have gulag and prisons in the same sentence, but there's nothing wrong with them?
There's nothing particularly wrong with gulags. Like, okay, sure, let's go with that. Those are words. You can put them together. I mean, it's technically a sentence, if you want it to be, I guess. I was just like, holy fuck.
SJ, within limits.
Yeah, I have other rubrics I operate by, SJ. I mean, I'm cool with a lot of people, and you know, in my community, there's MLs and there's people that have authoritarian leanings that I have disagreements with, but you know, yeah, as an anarchist, like authoritarianism tends to be my heuristic to use your term, or rubric to use mine. That tends to be as anarchists, you know, hierarchies, authoritarianism, and anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism can get pretty authoritarian as well. An individual could be perfectly capable of arguing for an authoritarian form of decolonialization, right? There's an anarchist, or you know, there's a sort of libertarian version of that, and then there's the do it at the tip of a spear or at the end of a gun version of it. Most of these concepts have authoritarian versus non-authoritarian versions, and so that tends to be what the anarchists judge things by. Is how are you going to accomplish that? Is it going to be by reasoned argument and compassionate engagement? Or is it going to be, you're going to do this whether you like it or not? And that tends to be where the anarchists part ways with a lot of the left.
You know, actually, I was reading somewhere that majority of the people in Russia want the USSR back. They thought their life was much better under the USSR than it has been outside of it. Not that they completely agree with everything of the
I've seen some of those interviews.
Yeah.
Oh God. So that's the video. All right, cool. Well, remind me, Kat. Pragmatism is a favorite area. I want to be an authoritarian anarchist. Yes, Viva. Good luck with that one. I think we call those ANCAPs, aka neo-feudalists.
No, I think what it was that they liked the factor that they had so many different social programs that they didn't have a whole lot to worry about. There was other things that they didn't like, of course, but they felt more secure underneath the factor that they had a whole shit ton of social programs.
Uriak, the majority of people Russian people want Vladimir out from office because he's colluding with American agents. No, they want him out of office because he's literally grifting billions of dollars from the country. That's why they want him out, is because he spent how much on that nice little palace of his so far, and his little circle from back in the days of the mayor's office. that are all now in charge of shit in the country and have made themselves a tidy a fortune as well, to the tune of billions each. Come on. He's an authoritarian tin pot dictator who is utilizing a capitalist modality to rip off the people of the nation. That's why they want him gone.
Yeah, like, you know, when we're looking at the USSR, it had way more social programs than the United States has ever done in its entire existence. Like, seriously.
There's also multiple eras. Okay, let's not talk about the USSR as like a monolith, because there's many eras of the USSR.
Yeah.
And some of the, so a few of the later years, before we bankrupted them, were pretty comfy. But a lot of those formative years were terrifying as fuck.
But like any country that grows or starts to try and grow in socialism or communism, it has its issues. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has its growth issues, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, if we want to apply an overly reductive euphemistic language to a shit ton of slaughtering and authoritarianism, okay, yeah, with that qualifier, with that giant asterisk, yeah, sure, we'll go with growth problems.
No, like albeit besides those caveats, I mean, for the most part,
AmRest.
I mean,
12 or 13, understand, anarchist,
was gonna be here.
not communist, anarchist. And saying, aren't capitalists already agreeing that communism is a better metric for our economy? I think that you're going to have a tough sell to argue that point, that capitalists are agreeing that communism is a better metric for our economy. That sounds like a tough sell.
Well, I mean, there is no country on this fucking planet that doesn't have some fucking shit fuckery in its history. There's none.
The worst famine in human history. Oh, but Lysenko's science was solid. It was the whole fucking thing. We went through it last night. This crazy fuck. Infrared was defending Lysenko. Lysenko was this fucking Soviet scientist who thought you could basically make plants communist and that you could winterize plants by putting the seeds in cold water. So you could, like, you know, take a plant from the tropics, drop its seed in cold water, and magically it would be suited to a winter in Siberia.
No.
The guy was just wrong. And was a contributing factor to a whole bunch of fucking problems. And yeah, Infrared was defending him last night. It was amazing. Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of contributing factors to that one. But you know, fucking there were perks. I mean, I'm not denying that. Like I said, there's a window of the USSR that definitely was nice if you had survived the purges, if you had, you know, survived the famine and the purges, and the purges and the famine and the purges, then yeah, there was a window there that it was really productive, it was really nice, but there was a lot of shit fuckery too. But yeah. I mean, again, this is because we're grown-ups. We can criticize and admit nuance, right? Nobody's being an apologist for capitalism. Nobody's saying America is sinless. But what we're saying is, hey, maybe Russia isn't a monolith, and maybe that there's problems, along with some interesting stuff, you know? But yeah, that's where Tankies and us disagree entirely. is that Joseph Stalin was a perfectly reasonable man who never ordered anybody's deaths, and Soviet Russia was basically a utopia if it weren't for the evil Western hegemony undermining it. Left to their own devices, it would have been rainbows and unicorns every day.
Well, I mean, I had a home care lady before she got pregnant and had to take off because of pregnancy. Who was from the Ukraine, and she couldn't stand Russia. She couldn't stand the USSR.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they massacred Ukrainians.
Yeah, and there's still war going on in Ukraine right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what Crimea is about. Like, I mean, it's... Dude. Right? Like, they're not... But that's the tanky opinion. They're very much an all or nothing. I mean, we're talking about people that say the Democratic Republic of North Korea, the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea is actually democratic, and it's some sort of utopic, land of just workers' rights and shit. And you're like, yeah, sure, go with that.
No, China has some shit that it's got to fucking deal with. We're gonna go there. But in truth, we over here on this side of the island need to deal with our own shit in our own backyard before we start fucking going over and making war with China.
I'm okay with criticizing everybody as an anarchist.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, sure, we can criticize them and shit, but we have shit in our own backyard.
Well, that's fair. But you can shovel shit in your backyard and glance across at the neighbor's yard and go, hey, while I'm shoveling, maybe you could shovel too.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, again, the tanky opinion is that there is no shit to shovel, and it is not your position to criticize. So, which I take offense of, right? Like, as just a member of the planet, being told by somebody that, like, that's not your purview, you can't talk about it. That's some authoritarian bullshit. Yeah, not a fan.
Right. I'm not saying we can't criticize or call, other countries out when they're doing shit, but we sure the fuck better also be looking at our fucking thing and cleaning up our own backyard. Glass houses should not be throwing stones. If you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike, I get that. You'll talk whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is I don't believe in that situation. Like, I really don't. Like, it's not that... I think as long as you're an equal opportunity offender, everything's fair game, right? Like, if you sit there and say China has no problems and then do nothing but criticize America, you're showing a clear bias. If you sit there and say America has no problems and sit and criticize the fuck out of China, you're showing a clear bias. I think the problem is with the bias, not the criticism.
But literally there is, what was it? Not too long ago, there was someone talking about how we need to go to war with China because we have to pull China up when it comes to the greenhouse and climate change.
Well, I think that going to war with China is a fucking ridiculous concept, but I do think that economically speaking, there's a whole lot to be done there, that like maybe supply lines should be moved away from China, not just for, your own economic resiliency, but yeah, to apply that sort of international pressure. But I mean, again, who's dropping bombs on China? Are you fucking stupid? But yeah, I think that, like we covered today, 12 Japanese firms, and I mean, not small firms like Sony, Toshiba, Hitachi, are moving supply lines away. Apple's already moving their supply lines away from China. Like, there should be, ramifications for being the dickhead on the block. Cool. That's economics. That's a whole other conversation. Fair game, right? And that sort of, if you're gonna run slave camps, like, we're free to not use them for our supply lines. And yeah, so I have a problem with the bias more than I do the criticism.
But let's be clear, if we're gonna do stuff like supply lines denial of or removing.
Oh yeah, we should be talking about the 13th Amendment in America, and we should be cleaning up our prison supply line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, as anarchists, at least on this channel, we criticize that all the time. So,
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, fucking my house is concrete, and I'm just gonna take stones off the ground and start fucking lobbing them everywhere. Like, yeah, fuck it, and one for you, and one for you, and one for you, and one for you. Like,
what I'm also getting at too is, okay, we have to watch what we're doing it for. Are we doing it because, like, Cuba, and when Cuba said, get the fuck out of here, corporations, and all of a sudden now we have to sanction them because corporations aren't permitted in Cuba anymore? Do you know what I mean? Like, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, again, I don't even discuss Cuba. They're doing their own thing. SJ, okay, here's the test I present to every anarchist. I think of the Follosphere, Momsphere too. I'm with you on not repeating USSR's mistakes. Are you down for letting the kulaks or whoever they might be in your situation be and letting them do their own thing? Can we let them have some restaurants or some shit? So in that scenario, SJ, let's use like capitalists, right? Anarchists coexist next to capitalists all the time. Kospaya is a classic example. The papal states were running their bullshit. Kospaya did their own thing. Anarchists are fine doing that all the time. We interface with unpleasant systems on a regular basis. Trumbleplex outside of Detroit is an anarchistically organized sort of art collective, art space, theater space, as well as residential area, and they interface with capitalism on a regular basis. Anarchism isn't about driving out the enemy. It's about educating people and, creating a sustainable system. So 100%, I'm fine with that. Let's see. And let me try and catch up on some of this stuff. Russia is good because they want to reclaim their former region. Yeah, sure. Let's go with imperialism for the win, I guess. Vladimir Putin is generally a good guy. Vladimir Putin is a genuinely good guy. Yurik, so you know him, do you? You hang out with Vladimir Putin on the weekends? Or are you working off of some set of third-party information as well? Potentially Russian state-owned, right? Where's your first-hand experience on this one? Have you been to the vineyard? That's insane. Let's see. Yeah, I can criticize every country at once. America gets a lot of talk. I got to spread it around. That's fair. Estrella. I can skip all that. I can skip all that. Okay, Cat. Unironically, I have more problems with issues with China than I do the U.S. No, for me, it's a little the other way. Uriak accused Cat of being a nationalist. That's hilarious. Yeah, SJ, if I don't get you, I'm usually backed up in chat, right? Today's Stupid Take Thursday. Yeah, apparently, Viva. Are we already? Oh, yeah. We're into Wednesday for me. Yeah, oh, yeah, 12. Let's see. Oh, and because we couldn't really hear it.
Fuck the Chinese government. There.
Let's see. Straya, gulags. Uriak making declarative statements, telling 12 or 13 they're lying and ignorant without actually putting up any evidence or any foundational knowledge whatsoever. I've always loved baseless claims. They're amazing. Oh, you know what? While we're at it.
Amazing.
Vladimir Putin, Pinochet, and Xi Jinping are the best leaders for anarchists. Now we know you're just a troll. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Mike said about Vladimir. He's my homie. I call him on the reg.
All I gotta say is, dude, I was with you up until you said that. Now you lost me.
Dude, this is your brain on tankyism.
Yeah.
You got to be able to identify them early and quickly, Sue. That way you just very quickly be like, oh, I know where this is going. This is going to end up in some insane shit. Like, I'm going to be defending a dictator soon.
Yeah. Moby Dick, do you like Elon Musk? I love Elon Musk. I love him so much, I want to put him on a ship all by himself and send him to Mars.
No, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. Moby, and as you could tell by that sarcastic reply from Sue, neither is he. Yeah, not a fan of Elon Musk. Oh, and if you happen to ever see a stream by the name of CMYK Ninja streaming, don't ask him that question. It's an insta-ban. He used to work with him. Like, one-on-one. With him. He despises the man. Just saying. Not many of us have firsthand information like that. And we do have a member of the community and a fellow streamer who has that kind of firsthand experience and has nothing good to say about the man. CMYK Ninja. I'm telling you right now, it's automated. If you mention his name on his channel, you will catch an insta-ban. It's automated. Yeah, don't bring him up.
I actually had someone today message me and beg me to remove them off my ban list.
Oh, I my DMs are closed and I don't do unban requests. You've got to contact one of my mods or a community member to even get it pushed through.
Oh, I told him, well, go talk to my mods. My mods deal with it all. My mods are the ones that deal with it.
Yeah.
And he's like, but
Sorry.
having a ban from your channel puts me in a dark shadow on any other place that I go to. I'm like, well, first off, I didn't think I was that important that having a ban from my channel puts you on a dark list on other channels.
Well, if Posada bot,
yeah,
if that's the circles they're running in.
Yeah.
A Marxium, Marximum. Musk is a fraud. You're not a genius with a bachelor's of physics. Look, your degree doesn't determine whether you're a genius, but I mean, Musk is the classic capitalist, like self-made man myth. I mean, he grew up with like literal emeralds in his pocket from his daddy's South African apartheid gem mine, right? Like this dude, he has bought his way into everything. It's a whole fucking thing. I visited Russia and China, and their people are happy for the economic growth their leaders brought. Oh, you mean the capitalism? Because Uriak, unless you're like 60, basically everybody you talk to had that economic growth was capitalism. See, China has what's called state capitalism. Right? Here's how it's ordered. In our society, the capitalist class is above the political class, which is above the working class. In China, it's the the political class who are above the capital class, who are above the working class, right? So it's state-run capitalism. Capitalism still has private ownership. China has private, domestic, and international ownership of the means of production. There are a few state-owned operations, but they are still capitalistically operated. So, fun fact, that economic growth is largely due to capitalism. I wonder who exported it. So who are you actually defending in this statement? Yes, your brain on tankyism.
One of the other things you can look at too is any company that's, no matter where it is on the planet, you can always get to see who the board of directors are and where they're from, as well as the main, what do they call them again? Shareholders are from. And that tells you who dictates and runs the company. That'll tell you exactly who runs the company and how it goes.
Oh yeah. SJ, he's not post-capitalist. He's not a post-capitalist revolutionary. Wait. Elon's very dangerous. No, he's not a post-capitalist revolutionary. He's your classic fucking neo-feudalist. I do agree with your neo-feudalism. I 100% agree with that assessment. Then around these parts that's what we call ANCAPs. If you actually mention ANCAP in stream, you'll trigger the bot to correct you. We call it neo-feudalism. And yeah, he's 100% a neo-feudalist. It's just the end stage of capitalism, right? This is classic Marxian critique. Look, I may not agree with Marxism as a whole, as an ideology, but Marx's critiques of capitalism are accurate. And so, yeah, that's just end stage capitalism. That's what it looks like. It looks like the company store, for those of you that are familiar with that reference.
I am.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And that's what Musk wants. Only he wants it on Mars, which is a whole fucking thing. Yeah, SpaceX is polluting space.
Technically, if Musk gets it on Mars, then he doesn't have to worry about human rights and laws and stuff like that, or any government putting their interfering nose in his business whatsoever.
Yep. His fucking capitalist wet dream. Yes, Joe, we got one. It looks like we got one. Yeah, we got one. Oh, wait, hang on. I think let me pop this out. Let me just check this. Huh, interesting. Fascinating. Let's see, what do we got? I think they're mostly a chud. Fair enough. Yeah, they convinced us. Now we're a tanky stream. Yeah, totally. Yeah, 5 years, Whiskey. 5 years. The low Earth, the Leo orbit, the low Earth orbit that they work off of. If they stop self-correcting their orbital path, they degrade and they burn up after 5 years. Yeah. So, if we had if we had a Kessler event, then, you know, it would completely fuck our launches, but we'd, you know, have 5 years worth of it. At 5 years, and then it would start cleaning itself up. But yeah. Can't wait to get hit by a SpaceX satellite. Astronomers are already complaining about them. They're already fucking up radio telemetry. Oh, good luck with that, Karina. That's an engineering project for tomorrow, not today.
Yeah.
We need health care. Right? Before we start talking about what planet we're going to inhabit next, quite frankly, we need to start talking about how fucked this planet already is. Mike, because half of my community is, I mean, it's been slow tonight. This has been a really slow stream.
Usually you're up in the 80s.
Yeah, this has been, it's like an old day. Mike, because half of my community is international. Literally about 45 to 50% of my community is US based, and then the other like 50% is elsewhere. And so that's why. 12 or 13, Germany checking in. Yeah, like we have contingents from all over. So that's why. Yeah. Yeah, I started doing it back on the Podbean days to accommodate. Mythos already checked in. Austria from Lloyd. International. Philippines, check.
Canada.
Yep. Canada. Canuckia. Just about noon for the EU. Let's see. Okay, upping spice levels on takes. There's more space between present USA and USA with healthcare for all and fair housing policy than there is space between the hypothetical world and full global communism. Disagree. Hard disagree. SJ. Hard disagree. One is an anarchist. Germany just woke up. Who wants to get banned?
All right, Joe.
Yeah, Marximum. Yeah, you said you were upping the spice. I was up front. Yeah, I just hard disagree. Like, I don't particularly do that for this channel. It's not even spicy. I'm not trying to like dick measure or anything, but you should hear some of the takes that get levied sometimes. That's not even. I mean, that's like a glass of milk.
Well, unless you're lactose intolerant.
There you go.
Could be spicy things, but.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, Mythos. Hartjo lives in Germany, so I think it's just morning time for them. So.
Germany, Hamburg. It is. It's like noon. That's fair. Oh God, you caused. Yeah. An ant crap. Talk about a Freudian slip. Or True Tanky or even Amprim have the spiciest takes. Yeah, usually an Amprim. And yeah, you triggered the Amprim response. Just an aside, Amprims are super cringe and genocidal maniacs. Look, we can't return to monkey people. Monkey. People need insulin, so they can go fuck themselves. Yeah. That's fine, SJ. Anarchists tend to be, I mean, we have to be idealist anyway. Astamite. An Anprim is an anarcho-primitivist, and unfortunately they can actually, unlike ANCAPs, they can actually make a claim to the anarchist title, which is problematic for anarchists. But primitivists basically are anti-civilizationists. They believe that manufacturing, roads, and even agriculture should go away. And so anybody with a disability, anybody who needs any sort of modern system of, that is dependent, basically it is eugenics. It's genocide. Astamite, so Ted Kaczynski. Yeah, he's a primitivist. Yeah, unironically become monkey. It's a nightmare.
Let me put it to you this way. Even us indigenous people
yeah,
know that, we can't return back to that, but we can put the technologies that we have to actual good use.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking sincerely about people who want agriculture to go away.
Yeah, no, like even indigenous people pre-colonization, for generations, tens of thousands of years, had agriculture.
Yeah,
and actually was where Europe had fuck all for agriculture and shit. Indigenous communities here had agriculture.
Joe, don't take too long for your breakfast. Let me just put it that way. But yeah, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, Posadists Posadists just want to fucking, they just want to nuke the world, and like as a form of a filter. What is a milpa? It's a growing system. Hang on. That's the best I can do. Crop growing system used throughout Mesoamerica, Yucatan especially, cultivated field. So different interpretations. The Maya, milpa agriculture produces maize, beans, and squash. It's a cycle that calls for 2 years of cultivation, 8 years of letting the area lie fallow. There you go. That's what milpa is.
Oh, somebody already got slapped.
I looked away and looked back, and there's a ban. Oh, yeah. My point is pre-Columbian America had agriculture. Yeah, oh yeah. Primitivists are genocidal maniacs. For real. They're nuts. Like, they want to roll it back, unironically, to monkey. Like, they're all about that. They're nuts. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like Anaprim. Hey, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Bertice. Pre-colonization or pre-first contact, Turtle Island had agriculture.
We've had agriculture for quite some time. Let's just put it that way. For quite some time. These people are... Yeah, I can't take them seriously when they say that shit on the internet. Oh, that's the thing. There are actual primitivists, but they amount to a small percentage. Where's the cooldown? Cooldown, user cooldown. Do I have a global on that one? Okay, so let's do that. There we go. They're nuts. Let's just leave it at that. They're nuts. They want to tear up the roads. They want basically all healthcare, modern medicine, all modern manufacturing techniques, all of agriculture, all of it needs to go away. And we need to just like revert back to pure hunter-gatherer status, utilizing field techniques for constructing like temporary structures. What they advocate for would kill billions. What the fuck is a MAGA anarchist? I'm guessing you don't know what anarchism is.
I think they don't know anything about anarchism. They probably thinking it's, that
those aren't anarchists.
Of like going crazy and breaking laws and being,
yeah.
huge.
That's not what an anarchist is. So I don't know where you learned that term, but cool. Oh, well, in that case,
those
go
people
away.
on the 6 were not anarchists.
Yep. Congratulations. Cat's feeling his ML self today. Cat's feeling the authoritarian. I speak English, French, Japanese, and anarchism. Hey, Lobby. Yeah. That was 2 in like 2 minutes. Copy pasta.
The other side of the planet is waking up, or is already getting into full gear.
Later, Estimate. That's why I was just gonna say Marximum. That's why I have the most generalized definition that I've been able to construct after years of doing this. But yeah. You know, it is what it is. The greater definition maximum even includes the old, like, there is no perfect expression of anarchism because anarchism isn't a monolithic entity. There is no utopic version of it. It's a network of ideas, and we much prefer it that way. All right, like, I even make allowances for that. There's a baseline 101 version that I use for people, but there is the extended definition that literally accounts for that. Yeah. I think I've gotten a pretty good definitional set of what is anarchism for educational, like, introductory purposes going. That's more a nihilist, actually, Mike. Hey, Joe. Oh, God. All right. So, since then... Oh, yeah, that's pretty TOS, actually, lobby. I'm not surprised it got pulled. So you get one. That's all you get. And then what happens is... Hang on, where's my cue?
Spamming doesn't get you very far either, just saying.
There we go. And... Oh, somebody... Hang on, I have a friend request. Oh, Oh, everybody, I have a friend request from Andrew. Oh, because he can't DM me if he's not on my friends list. What am I... You're welcome. Yeah. Andrew actually sent me, he's the crazy fucking ML. Sent me a fucking friend request thinking I'm gonna accept it. So he can, reject. There we go. So he can send me death threats in my DMs. Yeah, that's the thing. What do you mean, liberalism, SJ? Classical liberalism or neoliberalism? No, Joe, nothing happened. Therefore, I have declared victory. He is too frightened to even speak to me, let alone debate me, let alone have a conversation with me, which is what I invited him to do. Therefore, I have declared victory, and we're just running with it as a community. So feel free to say it. Feel free to repeat it, that Infrared is clearly a coward, and has been, like, you know, all capitals, Ben Shapiro, demolished and defeated by me and shit like that. You know what to do. Have fun with it. Meant more neoliberalism, but classical is fine too. I guess whichever or both. Well, I mean, these are two very distinct things. Classical liberalism has a good job, you know, right? Right? I didn't even have to work for it. No, classical liberals do, like, I mean, yeah, Kai won. Infrared is a pussy, fuck one. Too scared to beat Kai won. Classical liberalism has, you know, I mean, its roots in that sort of Enlightenment era. It values egalitarianism. It values, you know, humanity. There is stuff to be truly appreciated and valued in classical liberalism. Neoliberalism, on the other hand, is basically having your cake and eating it too. Neoliberalism is the support of all of the oppressive hierarchies, capitalism, laissez-faire capitalism, the state, all of this bullshit, It is literally the support of everything that is oppressive in our everyday society, but with the appearance of humanitarianism, with the appearance, with the veneer of egalitarianism, with the veneer of social programs. Neoliberalism is a blight on this planet. Yeah. Classical liberals have a bunch of stuff to appreciate. The appearance is the most important thing, right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mike. That's all that matters. If growing up in America has taught me anything, it is that the content of your character means nothing, and that appearances are everything. I'm not being sarcastic.
Saying of best, isn't that old saying of put your best foot forward?
Yeah, basically. I'm not being sarcastic with that statement. That's true. That's what being an American has taught me. Do classical liberals exist? Do they all become anarchists or leftists in modern day? Well, classical liberals haven't really existed for quite some time. They're more of an academic exercise than anything else these days. These days, if you were going to lean that way, you'd either end up fucking... I don't know. If you tried to study classical liberalism, you probably would either end up an anarchist or you would either end up a neo-libertarian. Depends on your influences and your biases therein. I don't know. Could be a fucking thing. But, I mean, I suppose some of them are going to end up as... I mean, you could end up in DemSoc, you could end up at SocDem. It just sort of depends. I would imagine it would depend which country you're coming from and which school of educational thought you're coming from as well. What do you think of military draft? Sorry if off topic. I don't give a shit about off topic, Rob. I will bounce around like a goddamn fucking Super Bowl. What do you think of the military draft? Not a fan. Yeah, yes, the anti-authoritarian, not a fan of conscription. Yeah.
You know, conscription, if we were actually facing a real serious threat, I may look at, okay, that might be a possibility. But 9 times out of 10, there's no actual threat.
There's an old Stanhope routine about how, like, what the fuck? I'm not an American. What's American? He said, until the Mongols come over the hill, I'm just a dude. We're just a bunch of people sitting around in a comedy club in the middle of the night, right? Like, there's no such thing as American, quite frankly. Like, yeah, and to your point, like, unless there's a unifying external threat, really, what's the point? Excuse me.
And I don't mean like the normal shit we've been seeing for the past few decades.
Oh, no.
Of the propaganda wars that are literally either for big corporations or the 1% or some criminal agency that's doing criminal actions.
Oh, that's ultimately for the 1% too. You had it right the first time. Yeah. It's about the profit margin. For twos, excuse me, sorry, sorry, passing through, excuse me. Did someone allude to the spectacle? Fuck De Boer. Look, I'm not even criticizing De Boer's actual points in Society of the Spectacle. Look, De Boer makes some solid points. I despise De Boer's writing style. As a writer, something about him irritates the fuck out of me. Just saying. That's my De Boer rant. It happens a lot. Let's see. The problem with liberalism is, to me, the most things they advocate for can't be achieved on the kind of capitalist free market they also advocate for. Since the Amorous, that's the having your cake and eating it too thing. Since the capitalist side seems to be the most important one, then everything else becomes performative. Yeah. Estrella, what do you mean anarchists aren't a fan of forcing people to join the military? I know, right? Crazy.
Canadians are planning to invade the U.S. riding moose. Must buy more F-35s.
Yeah, F-35s, right? Like, I mean, oh, by the way, there's a dial home device on the F-35s. If you guys aren't aware of this technology, it's fucking amazing. So we've been selling F-35s to the rest of the world at not a small price, by the way. They have a dial home device. The F-35s are actually DRM'd. There's literal digital rights management on the F-35. And so it has to go to a United States server farm. It's a military run thing, but it dials home for activation when they use them. So say we sold a bunch of F-35s to somebody who wanted to use them against us, we can turn them off.
Right in midair. Thanks for the free money.
Oh, that program just keeps giving me so many amazing stories. I have followed the F-35 for years and years and years now. And it is just the most, it has given so many amazing stories. From the times that it was suffocating pilots because it would just randomly turn off the oxygen supply to the mask and they would fall the fuck out of the sky, to the fact that it couldn't fly in the rain, to the fact that it couldn't, the software couldn't interface. Did we privatize some peace? To the fact that it couldn't fire its own machine gun, to when they finally fixed the fact that it couldn't fire its own machine gun, that they couldn't carry enough ammunition for the machine gun, to the fact that I have loved this plane. It is just a marvel of problem after problem after problem. And but for the lifetime of the program, it looks like we're going to spend $1.5 trillion on this fucking thing. Oh, it's just amazing. And yeah, Estrella, I do think it, 100% voluntary. Yeah, they stuck with it though. Let's see. My take is liberalism freed people from the lords. Look, SJ, I'm not gonna finish it. There's a natural flow of things, right? Feudalism was a thing. Constitutional monarchism came along and freed people from it. There was, common law stuff that came along as a result of that. It's just part of the cycle, right? Like things do good for a time. Like, there's no denying that capitalism gave us a whole bunch of gains as a result of blah, 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 but it's inherently exploitative, inherently coercive, it's inherently destructive, and so we need to outgrow it. We need to move past it, right? Any potential gains that have been gotten from capitalism are the return on the investment is starting to diminish. And so the cost-benefit analysis is starting to tilt the other direction. And so it's time to have that conversation about capitalism, just like you're pointing out for liberalism. It's just part of being human. Some shit we used to do worked for a little bit in some way, shape, or form, but then we realized how fucking bad it was and ways to improve it, and so you change. Capitalism is just running its course. That's all. Larko Bidenism is the only libertarian take. Yeah, we got enough PMCs anyway. At least my hair isn't straight and actual. It has real curls. Girls used to ask me how I got my hair to curl. Fair enough, Mike. Oh wait, that was from me. Supposedly the Kraus vegan has done the same thing with the export versions of the Leopard 2 tank. Lovely. So other weapons manufacturers are taking their cue with DRMing their fucking weapons. Let's see. Now's a good time to remind everyone that the U.S. economy is primarily based on services. Can we all agree that as much as we hate capitalism is better than feudalism? We're returning back to feudalism if we're not careful. So, I mean, yes, I guess. Best academic description of modern day war: monkey leader lie, banana line go up, monkey people life go down, business monkey happy, business people monkey get propagandist. That's fair. Let's see. Nuance in my political stream? Damn you for making me think. I know, right, Australia? This is super tunnel vision, but I'd love to enjoy a games lineup not made for profit.
Have you heard of Silver Spoon?
And I'm thinking, like, I mean, it wasn't made for profit, but Stardew Valley was a passion project. I mean, it's made like $100 million now. There's no denying that. But I mean, Concerned Ape, right? That's his name. That's his chosen pseudonym and moniker. That was a passion project. Oh, and Joe, I didn't know you wanted to come on the air. I thought you were gonna stream, and I was just gonna raid over to you, by the way. Yeah, that's what I thought you were asking, Joe. Let's see.
Capitalism better than feudalism. I tried while making sure.
Did you hear that, Joe?
Hey, Heart Joe. Are they having issues?
Yeah, to that extent, Minecraft too. Yeah, Joe, I thought you were just gonna stream. I was just gonna raid over to you. I thought that's what you were asking.
I think they're having issues.
All right, well. Oh, moi. Because I can type. All right. Yeah, all right. Yep. I have decided because I am the decider. God, Dude, that's how fucked up Trump was. When you start reminiscing about the days of fucking George W. Bush, right? Oh, you're gonna stream. Okay. All right. Rock the fuck on. Like that's how fucked up Trump was. Right? Like when people are starting to wax poetically about fucking George W. Bush, you done fucked up. How is that not? What the fuck? Twitch is being Twitch again. Dude, they've been... That's weird. So Joe, go stream and see if I can find you. Good night, Karina. Take care. You're welcome. All that. Oh, Fertus, you just mentioned one of my favorite fucking things from back in the day. All right, so Epcot, experimental prototype community of tomorrow. Yeah, right off the top of my head. Yeah, Epcot was fucking Walt Disney's company town. By the way, there actually is, I think it's called Liberty, Florida or something like that. I forget what the actual name is, but Disney actually did eventually get to that point where they opened up their own town. But Epcot on park premises was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be a facility where people lived and worked and had children and died. Interestingly enough, Mike, we looked into the Walt Disney super anti-Semitic thing one night. There's not actually a ton of evidence to it. It was really interesting because, yeah, we had that conversation and everybody, like myself included, were like, oh yeah, Walt Disney's super anti-Semitic. And then you go looking into it and you're like, there's not actually a lot to this. Like for everybody's description of how anti-Semitic Walt Disney was, you'd think there was like bucket loads of shit that this dude had said over the years and people he had supported, and you're left actually kind of questioning. You're like, this is weird. It just sort of entered into the zeitgeist, and it's been there ever since. All right, he's there. Cool. Well, it's a conversation for another time, because I'm going to hit the magic button and we're going to do the thing. Mandela effect, baby. Maybe. All right. All right, y'all. Sue, thanks for hanging out.
No problem, bro.
KaisThings.com for the newcomers. You know what? There's Sue in chat. There's shoo that we've reached that point of the night. There's Sue's channel in chat. Go throw Sue some love. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna raid over to one of my mods, Heart Joe. It looks like Joe is gonna be playing Stalker. So. Yeah, for the newcomers, I'm on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday, Thursday, 11:30 p.m. Pacific, all times US. Do your own conversions. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. And you can catch all of my stuff at kaisthings.com, K-A-I-S things.com. All my replays and stuff like that are there. I shall catch you guys another time. I hope you're as well as you can be. Let's go raid Joe.
Bye-bye, all. See you. Love you.
All right. Close that.